play this shit? Then I'ma play this shit.
Horse. Monster on the beat, ho, beat, bo, in rap, nigga, yeah, free throw, man down, call like ambulance, tell him free, bro, nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo, what's up with
He
these?
said, call the ambulance.
Compton.
So that video, you going to jail now on the Metro bus.
Y'all
Pick up
gonna
your
be
guns.
mad. I think this song is actually trash.
This one?
We're
Oh,
live too, right?
Yes, we live.
I like
He
it.
sat there the whole time and heard me
Yeah.
vomit. I played shit like 4 times. And he's just like, yo, it's trash.
This song is actually trash. Yo,
Hey, listen, if
Say-
Patrick said we could play it,
play it.
I'ma play it.
Right. Look, the,
Tune in.
That-
All the Patrick
that
fans, let's get it.
this song is trash. I gotta go to Oakland like next month. And this is an
answer for you.
Oakland, right? This is 100% an Oakland energy song. Nah, it's trash, right? It's still trash.
What don't you like about it?
A minor.
It's
Pettiness, the timing.
Nah, it's too happy.
They not like us.
Like I'm not with a lot of happy shit.
He was trolling though.
Yeah,
Huh?
He was trolling.
Yeah, but it's still, it's like if you miss the context of the troll later on,
Yeah.
it seems like we're joking, we're laughing, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like a celebration song to me. That's how I read it.
And right, and that's the part of like, there's so many layers to this that hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, always.
To me, it looks like you celebrated a little early, champ, and
Yeah.
you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And the things that you're talking about in the song it's not happy, fun shit. If what you're saying is true, this is not some funny shit to be like dancing to.
Yeah. And everybody ignoring all of that.
Yo, think about this. If you're advocating that this person likes minor girls, this is where everybody gets mad at me because here comes fucking Maj being all fucking...
We just trying to have fun, man.
Right, we trying to just like, come on, Maj, just
No, but-
let us live.
But I
But
like
the
where you
song
going.
is about you're saying that this person likes A minor. Yeah, let's laugh to that. Let's dance to it.
Wow.
I mean, I take it from the battle rap point of view because nothing is more disrespectful than battle rap. They bring coffins on stage. They rip up pictures of people's mothers. They do all type of
Court
shit.
paperwork.
So I honestly don't really think that any of this shit's true. That's why I like fucking with Danza because he'd be like, yo, you don't know. Like, yo, no, you don't know.
So okay, so who's worse off? Are we worse off the person that would put that on somebody's jacket? That's heinous shit. See, here we go. See how awkward it get? The line.
No, you're right.
Get it nice and fucking awkward.
I like it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You're right. You're right.
Listen, I'm only quiet right now because, again, we are live. We do this shit live. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Again, this is Danza Project, Season 2, episode numero... I was
Nueve.
just seeing if he knew any Spanish.
Hey,
You see
soy
that?
panameño.
Yeah, number
I
9.
speak Spanish, bro.
You know, I feel like today we're walking on a brittle path.
Ooh. See what you did there. See what you did there.
And I feel like, you know, we got a dope-ass guest on the show today, right? You know, just it's all about having that great conversation. Sometimes we got to switch it up. But I'm like, you know, I told you, I'm done with this hip-hop shit.
No, you're
I'm
not.
done.
No, you're not.
I'm upset.
Completely? Or just
I'm upset.
For the month?
You know what I mean? I just feel like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Have we ever been in a space in life when it comes to music where like people are very upset about your opinion? And I've never seen so many opinion dick riding.
Facts.
This has been like the most like, oh my God, you like Drake's records? Why?
How dare you?
Yeah, like how do you know the only reason you do is because now this is the first time I ever heard it in my life, and I've heard it hundreds of times this week. Now I look like Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this motherfucking Drake
You
look
probably
alike.
related to
You gotta
him.
drop
Yeah,
it.
and I'm like, so what? I'm getting paid by fucking OVO now? Like,
They be hitting you with the light skin shit in the chat all the time.
yeah, and I love it though, because like, so what? You're not gonna make me change my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like where do we get this idea from? That like all of a sudden I'm supposed to go out there and because somebody else says you shouldn't be like that, that I'm all of a sudden gonna be like, you know what?
You guys are
17 of them wrote me this immediately. Let me back down and just jump on their side.
Yeah.
So I
my
posted
life.
immediately after I posted, I said, I was trolling everybody. I really think Kendrick won. Everybody starts responding and shit like that. Next post, I'm like, everybody would like the last post. Bunch of fucking idiots.
You've identified.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fucking morons.
Thank you for coming up
Like,
behind.
let me
cover
like
and
the music
concealment.
I like.
Right.
When it comes to this battle, my opinion, I think Drake's got the superior records, diss records. People can say whatever the fuck they want. If you think Kendrick's, look, if I'm sorry if I'm hurting Kendrick's feelings right now, and I could talk directly to you.
No, you're
I don't.
you're not.
Listen, or your feelings. I don't want to hurt your feelings. You're a great guy. You've done great work for us. You know what I mean?
This is where I draw the line.
We enjoy having you here, and you know I'm not trying to trash your idol because it seems like finally somebody's gonna take Drake down.
Nah, it's nothing
He's
like
been
that.
fucking our girlfans for way too long.
Nothing like that.
You know what I mean? Like
He just-
that's happening.
He just said the shit that people say about Drake, just on record to a beat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He said what they say on TikTok, right? You're like you do realize that sometimes when you like read into shit too much on the internet and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that too, and I'm gonna jump in a submarine and go see the Titanic. Sometimes you're killing yourself. You know what I mean? Because we see shit on TikTok, it's like, wow, I would love to see that place. No, once the submarine starts going down, you know what I mean? This shit might implode. Right? So like, look, everybody wants to not be enemies with, like, God forbid you jump online and you say, I like Drake's record, and then every one of your friends come for you and you die this social death.
It's because they don't know how to, the people, what you're talking about is, to me, all of this is not even music to me. This is like psychology. So what you're talking about is the people that have aligned themselves with a value system that they believe in. This is their church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it becomes like, when I show up going like, yo, I don't give a fuck about that church.
It hurt them to their soul.
Yeah, to their soul.
Yeah,
Because they like, I've put my entire,
This is my identity.
this is my identity.
You're basically denying,
I'm going to go to Toronto and, you know, or I'm going to be in Compton and it's going to be, I'm going to kick it with him. And you have these perceptions of things. And that's why I think all of this shit is trash.
Yeah.
I think it's all trash because it's, to me, I don't know when the blend switched. I don't know when it went from these people are making music about music things to who is the unseen hand making us talk about this shit. I don't know where that line is now.
Yeah.
So now my brain goes, oh, okay, I feel that way about whatever side somebody is passionate about if it's not a legitimate music critique.
Okay.
If it's you're getting upset about
Things we don't even know to be true.
Right. And the passion, if it's the biggest battle that I've experienced of this that could be somewhat in the conversation is like Hove and Nas.
Okay.
So it was clear this is what this is about. You know, no, like I get more money than you. I'm better than you. I toss
iller
your
than
chick
you.
around,
Yeah.
and we both know that. I'm like, okay, there's no psychological operation associated with this. With this, I start to feel like this is a way of creating a divide in people and make them not pay attention to how fucking goofy they sound. You're saying the fact that they can get yo-yoed that easy, you could go, okay, maybe Kendricks got this, and they're like, glad that you're on our team now.
Yeah.
And then like really be passionate about that shit. And you could be like, psych, fuck out of here.
I listen.
And then they get double mad.
I feel like what you're saying is completely accurate. For me.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that's because I'm 38 years old. Right? Because is our opinion of who we think the greatest battle was valid? Because when we were younger and somebody else tells us, you know, oh, it was Prince,
Rock.
you know, yeah, it was
Michael
Prince and
Jackson,
Michael Jackson.
yeah.
It's like, nah, it was Pac and Big. You know what I mean? And you can't argue with them because they got their own opinion and that's it. Like, you just you're in a completely different
It's
realm.
Dr. J. No, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
No, it's
gonna
Kobe
keep changing.
Bryant. No,
so
it's
for that generation out now that's on TikTok, Instagram, also all over social media, that's in school, they're having huge fights about Kendrick Drake. You know what I mean? But I was just about to say this. So I also found out in the past like week, right? Because I got 10 nephews and nieces, is there's also a large group of people that don't listen to their disses. There's a large group of people that I found out that don't give a fuck about what Drake and Kendrick are doing. And I'm like, holy shit, I thought like for sure everybody knew this. You know what I mean? Because all of us were talking shit online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the adults are talking shit. We forget sometimes that Drake is in his 30s, as Orlando pointed out, 42.
There you go.
We forget that, you know, we know that you probably got to be a little bit older to enjoy Kendrick Lamar's music. I mean, it was a pun.
His best music literally was damn near 10 years ago.
Yeah, his music
I'm
you
not
have to
really
That's a good point.
Shit, right.
That's a good
his
point.
music you have to actually listen to, right? You're talking about a man that sold 170 million records versus somebody that sold 35 million.
I feel you.
We're talking about LeBron James versus Russell Westbrook.
Listen, this battle isn't supposed to happen. That's what makes it so great.
Wait, but so it's just different layers though. Because what you just said, the 35 million, 170 million, right? He didn't sell 170 million to hip hop artists. I mean, to like hip hop fans.
Word, yeah, absolutely.
So the question becomes, all right, is he even relevant in that conversation as it relates to hip hop? Because I see Drake, like Drake's last two albums to me were absolute fucking horrible trash.
The 21 Savage joints or his solo shit?
His solo shit. Kanye wants some energy too, so I'll throw him in there too. Kanye's last 4 albums were absolute fucking nightmares.
I disagree.
Fucking horrible.
I disagree, but keep going.
I disagree.
You gotta let a man
Nate,
like,
keep it.
Okay.
I like to go there.
An album is a body of work.
Yeah.
A perfect album is I'll insert some albums and because I'm talking about from that perspective, right?
Yeah.
All of you are gonna agree with this. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is a perfect fucking album.
Yeah.
Front to back. Front to back.
Tell me any of the Drake or Kanye albums that I just said are shit that could get anywhere near that album.
I fuck with Vultures.
I'll tell you
But
what,
you
I
can't
just for
compare
whatever reason I
Vultures
didn't.
to-
Vultures
listen to
is a vibe.
But it's a completely different.
It's all different.
What he's saying is making sense when you're trying to compare Vultures
So
to
like,
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
or even compare Vultures to Late Registration or 808 Heartbreak.
No, so
Or
wait,
shit like that. So I get it.
The last album that I think that, I was like, all right, cool. 808s and Heartbreak. Right? My point in saying this is the young people can create these lanes of things in conversation that don't have. First of all, they're young and they're fucking stupid. That's one.
That's where you go.
Let's start
So
there.
you don't fucking know.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like grumpy, get off my lawn ass. I'm saying like, no, there's certain things you just don't fucking know. So you can say, oh, I'm not even listening to the lyricism from this person that's a lyricist because 2 years ago you was thinking about fucking eating a Tide Pod. So I can't really fucking think about anything that you have to fucking say.
Right.
And I think as elder statesmen, we gotta say like, yo, you're retarded right now. You see what I'm saying?
Are you qualified?
Are you qualified to? Because okay, let's take it out of that. Like, I want to have a conversation about Late Registration. I want to have a conversation about the Blueprint. I want to have a conversation about Illmatic. And not to say that those lyrics and bodies of work can't be capable right now. They can. Just the people that are the quality of person that's there to make the music, is being targeted, which is why earlier I said I can't really fully engage because I'm like, is this the psyop or is this actual music?
That's the hard part, right?
Right? So for me, I go, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about as a 20-year-old. And you're not really 20 because you've had 7 years of dumbing down that you're further. You don't know what the fuck is happening.
Your sample of data is already corrupt.
You fucked up.
Yeah. If your lineage starts with Soulja Boy, it's hard for me to let you grade albums
Now,
as a complete body of work.
Now, if we're being objective, we then go, okay, let's lower the standard for what they base their GOATs on. let's DEI the shit. Let's just lower the fucking standards and let's just get everybody in. Okay, cool. If we're talking about sales, okay, it's Drake. There's no question about it. But then if you're going on that metric, you got to go, okay, well, to your point, number ones, are we putting Drake in a category with Michael Jackson?
I beg to differ.
Yeah.
You know that. I beg to differ.
I am on this. Like, it's not about, look, I idolized Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I do temper tantrums when my mom didn't bring the CD home when I said, now.
This one.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I thought I was going to be Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're born in my era, you know what I mean? You definitely, like Michael Jackson was that dude.
Right.
With all that said, when it comes to captivating the world, right? Like Michael Jackson, different day and age. If Michael Jackson had social media and the internet, he would be even greater, right?
Wild.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. So what happened is
Honestly,
Drake
it's
had
scary to
social
think
media.
about that.
Scary.
Might have been too
Yeah,
powerful.
Drake had social media
Yeah.
his entire run. So what Drake says goes, right? You're talking about somebody that just has number one hit after number one hit after number one hit after number one hit. Any music, look, let's not fool ourselves and think that Kendrick Lamar has a number one record if he disses any other rapper. He doesn't have one solo number one record in his entire career
Other
as
than-
dope as he's been. Not one. All of a sudden, he fights with Drake for 1 week and he's got a number one. Kendrick won when it comes to that. Easy. This is first
But he had
solo number one.
He had to diss Drake to do it, though.
Yeah.
It's like the joke that I think it might have been Chris Rock. I don't know who it was, but he was like, yo, do you understand how famous presidents are? He's like, Monica Lewinsky got famous for sucking Bill Clinton's dick.
Hillary Clinton might
Nothing
have a
else.
dick. No.
Right. Whoa. But you get what I'm saying? It becomes like, and that's a trap for Kendrick.
Yeah.
But then when you turn into, okay, maybe not number ones, but album sales. Kendrick, Cole, and Drake are the only ones in the hip hop genre that's moving weight. And it's not because they're talking, and that's going back to the PSYOP conversation. It's not because they're talking about death, murder, kill. Mostly their music is not murder, death, kill music.
Absolutely, yeah.
True.
And the market is responding and going, we want to listen to like Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. Well, all of them actually could leave and not be anywhere seen. And then when they show back up, they're going to drop and Beyonce could do it. Jake Hove could do it. Michael Jackson could do it. My point is, that's not the only litmus test, is what I'm saying, like the number ones. Because when you're looking at the sales, okay, Drake is just more marketable. Drake chooses to say, I'm going to make music. And I got the email. It's literally emails saying, Drake, I'm going to make music that Maj thinks is trash. Because I get to go sell a fucking Afrobeats energy over there in that demographic. Kendrick might go, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that. So then we got to factor those things in.
So Kendrick Lamar is Katt Williams and Drake is Kevin Hart.
That's an accurate fucking yes.
Fuck with it.
Look at
I fuck with it.
Yes.
Because
Now-
Kevin Hart's a whole lot richer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know people like using the bullshit in there, but like it just
It's not
just
even
is,
close.
yeah.
Right.
But I look at it like this, right? So like the Kevin Hart, Katt Williams is good. Like when they go at each other, who wins?
Yeah, but see,
Katt Williams.
But what I'm saying
when
is,
they go against each other, yeah,
But-
and
but
I know
what I'm
what you're
saying-
trying to do.
you know what I'm saying? Like the whole, like I look at this shit like the in-season tournament. Competition for competition's sake to stir the audience. Because last year, right, they were saying how hip hop has declined 3%, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So
50th year of hip hop.
exactly,
What a shame.
exactly. So if we have a little bit of a ruckus, a little in-season tournament to get shit going, well, who wins ultimately?
It's possible. What
No,
Spotify wins.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
YouTube wins. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Everybody.
who is involved in the music industry, they win because now the attention is there.
Here comes Maj with the fucking grumpy shit.
Let's go.
No, let's do it though. You know what I'm saying? It's
None of that shit fucking helps our fucking communities.
right.
Fuck all of them motherfuckers. Like, the reality is, I don't give a fuck about Drake. I don't like Drake. I don't like the people that saw the legendary interview. I don't like anything about Drake.
Yeah.
I don't like the fucking way he talks. I don't like the way he walks. I don't like anything fucking about
I want to be around the guy.
I hate his
Right.
face.
Right. Sit, right?
But dog,
Right.
that's my man.
Right. Right. I just think that it's hard for me to separate. I know too much. I can't unplug. I can't plug back into that matrix. Yeah. When you say it's good for the business of, the music industry, cool. I can't see I don't see independent artists generate, other than the move that Kendrick just made with the copyright shit on YouTube, but that's for YouTubers, right?
There you go.
How is this shit gonna help?
Shout out to the YouTubers, by the way.
You shout.
You know what I'm saying?
How the fuck does this help? This in no way, shape, or form helps the communities that we do work in. This shit is gonna create another fucking divide. And to me, I'm like, oh shit. Now it's like we were saying, like, I think this shit's soft initially. We said we made content talking about the shit being soft.
Just yesterday.
Then a motherfucker gets shot in front of fucking Drake crib. So like, it's gonna be good for YouTube. It's gonna be great. Here's where I fuck everybody up. It's gonna be great. This battle is gonna be great for Lyor Cohen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Big facts.
So for me, I gotta be the fucking grumpy ass old man that shows up and it's like, hey, you kids, do you know how to fucking strip field, like field strip your firearm? Hey kids, do you know how to fucking stop a bleed? Hey kids, the national debt is, and then everybody get mad at me. Cause I'm like, you don't know, like Florida, y'all could just throw a seed in the ground and food shows up.
Literally.
But Chicago,
dirt, dust.
y'all are about to argue about, and maybe they're young enough where they like, we don't give a fuck about Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? But on certain levels, it starts to me to become like, did the creators of hip hop win this? Like in the both of their beefs, they're both saying, let's look at your splits, meaning let's look at your contracts. Yeah. Let's look at the numbers. This is great for Lyor Cohen. Is this great for Dame Dash? Is this great for Nipsey Hussle's children? That's how I look at it.
See what you're saying.
How is this shit good for, like, okay, great, cool. Every time I'm in LA, I'm going to Nipsey's spot. When it's the high rise, when it's whatever. The last time I was there, it felt grim.
Really?
Grim. So, how is Nipsey's woman going to benefit from this? When we say this is good for hip hop, I'm not separating Nipsey, his children, Lauren, and the overall.
What the suggestion would be that is it's bringing more attention to hip hop again, to music again. The world was taken over by streamers. Right, you got the Kai Cenat, Speed, Aiden Ross, streamers. They're taking over everything.
Yeah,
the rappers are like, we need that shit back.
Well, who's the rappers?
I mean, the rappers.
So okay, can we show a metric that shows that other artists, other than you, labels and others, other than Drake and Kendrick and the streamers, right? Because Kendrick's going, streamers eat, right? I highly doubt that Universal Music Group is going like, artists eat.
Right.
Yeah.
So where
but
is
it is going to create some sort of a change.
Where is the metric gonna? I need to see the metrics.
This is a new way to become famous as a hip hop artist.
Battle?
No, allowing the streamers to use the music.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Kendrick just set a new trend.
Yeah,
right there.
that business model, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And now, does that mean it has to be tied to, I'm gonna argue against someone? Because nowhere in here have I heard anybody talk about the industry that's raping both of them.
Right.
I mean,
Grumpy ass Maj again.
shout out to Vince Staples. Vince Staples brings that up every single time someone talks to him about the beef.
Right.
So I feel
One thing I will say, like did mention, this did take a lot of young folks' mind off of drill rap, off of nobody in this battle was wearing a Pooh Shiesty.
Yeah.
Nobody in any video at any point was masked up or doing. In fact, this was the least and lowest casualty of any beef ever.
Yeah.
Except for Rick Ross's plane, and now somebody got.
Yeah, I know it's starting to
What
happen.
the fuck happened with Rick Ross playing?
yeah, what was that
Drake
about?
shot it down.
Supposedly, that's what Rick Ross
Get the
said.
fuck out of
No,
here.
after he was talking
Definitely went
shit.
down.
After he was
Yeah,
talking shit about
Pilot
Drake's.
was injured. I think he's fine though.
See, this the shit I'm talking about. This is why I
Yeah.
can't separate it from fucking. Is it this?
Yeah.
It's just like that's legit. Like
Oh, his shit was.
No, yeah, he
there's
posted a
pictures of
picture.
it. Yeah, there's videos.
He
of
talked
it.
about it. He got in front of it and said, "I saw BBL Drake pull up like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. He was in the front seat with the seatbelt on, and he just kind of and he did the whole thing, like joking about it.
Yeah,
But
no,
the-
it's a real thing. You can post a picture up.
That's what's
get
wild.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Initially,
and
when this
then
first-
that Drake.
Initially, when this thing first started, I'm like, is any of this real? Is it just for the industry? Is
Yeah.
it to pump numbers and bring back excitement to hip hop and maybe get people away from drill and put them back into the primetime players, the big three? Let's put them back on the front line because they were starting to
Then
lose
let's,
it.
then let's get a tour going after we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were already posting memes about Drake and Kendrick apologizing in the future.
Yeah.
Like, can't wait to see this video.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, are they throwing like a coup against Drake? Because everybody got together between The Weeknd, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross. It was like
Yeah,
everybody got up to say this dude who's been leading for a while, the dude that we've been upholding as our champion that everybody loves. I think there's some things y'all need to know about. Is this your champion?
Wait. So I'm somewhat out of the loop because grumpy dude.
It's all right.
So here's
we
the
live in the real world.
Right.
You get it. Yeah.
Like I was trying to stop some homicides around the way.
Light.
Fucked up me.
Change lives.
Right. Silly me doing shit. Right.
How dare you?
How
by
dare I?
the way.
Fucking, I've destroyed everyone's reality. So, okay, why is everybody actually upset with Drake? Is it because he like alley-ooping they shorties? Like what?
Because he probably gets away with murder, if not murder. He gets away with.
I would respect
It's
that.
like
Gets
hating
away-
the youngest sibling.
Well, like
They annoy the fuck out of you.
I'll let Kendrick.
Yeah,
I'll let Kendrick tell you.
Yeah.
He sleeps with the other people's women. Sleeps with young women.
Mm-hmm.
He takes advantage of the culture. The race card was a huge one in this battle. Huge, if not like a defining moment, was when that race card came out. And it's like that's what Drake kind of obsessed on, and he couldn't get past it. That was a big thing. And
I
even
don't
now,
think he obsessed on it. It took 2 seconds to address it.
to address it, maybe, but I think it's something that's all his life he's been dealing with. Rick Ross was talking about he got his nose done to not look like his father's.
Yeah,
That's not gonna stir something up in you, whether it's true or
Yeah.
not. You're gonna be like, come
This
like,
is
hold
making
on,
me
bro.
like Drake.
I said the same.
But let
This is making me
if you
go
listen-
like.
yeah, yeah.
If
So
you
y'all
listen
are
to the-
trying to bully this motherfucker.
But did he do it? Is it bullying if he really did it?
If he
Maybe
did
he's
the,
been
if he
getting
did
away
the
with
kid
it?
shit, absolutely. Is there questionable kid shit? Absolutely.
But those were those arguments about.
I don't think
hoes.
maybe he isn't a pedophile. I'm not trying to say Drake's a pedophile. Drake, I'm not calling you a pedophile unless I find out you're a pedophile.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But Millie Bobby Brown, the interview comes out. She's on the red carpet. This is the girl from Stranger Things. 11, right? 7.
In the
No,
show.
she plays 11.
She plays 11. I know. What did you think I said?
She wasn't
You thought I was talking about the
11
strip
years
club?
old.
No, you
Oh,
said
like
11.
He thought no 11. I know she's not 11, but she played 11 in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It was a character. They have an interview with her on the red carpet. I believe at the time she's 14 years old. They ask her, about Drake. Oh yeah, Drake's my friend. We text all the time.
They took a picture together.
At the
so they
time,
asked her
Drake
about it.
is 32 or something like that, 33. And she's like, oh, what do you guys text about? She's like, oh, he gives me advice about boys and stuff. He actually just texted me earlier today and said, hey, I miss you so much. Right? And now the lady's like,
Could be
well, can you
nothing.
tell us some of the stuff that's
Like,
going on in the
right.
text messages? So now she's trying to bait her into it. She's young. She's like, oh, well, I'll keep that between us and our text. And I was like, oh, she just made it worse.
Jesus.
Right, so now I see that today because a source of mine sends me this video. And it was like, if this was because he starts the conversation off like this. He goes, okay, so imagine your daughter was 14. And I was like, okay. I don't even know I'm getting set up here.
I have a 15-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
so this is already.
He's like, so now a 32-year-old guy is messaging your daughter. You find out about this on TV, and this is what she's
Boyfriend
saying.
advice.
Are you mad at him?
Okay. All right. So let's make it more grim.
Shit.
So I was falsely accused of rape.
Okay. Definitely made it more grim.
Fucking grim.
Yeah.
Statutory.
Okay.
Super grim.
Yeah. As it gets.
21 and over nightclub. Meet the girl. Never slept with her. Her dad had to come to say, I'm going to come to. I know you didn't do
To
it.
free you. Wow.
This is what she does. She did it to her uncle, my brother.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
And you know, when it first happened, I'm like, the club, everybody's getting sued.
It's the worst allegation ever.
It's the worst shit in the world.
Absolutely.
So it's 2 years of you got this thing floating over your head. Now I have daughters.
Mm.
So I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, what? Then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, let me be careful
Safe
because
and
I
solid.
know that this is how people package somebody. I wasn't, if you don't know the context that I met this person here, I didn't sleep with him, they didn't take a rape kit, context is a motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every.
So I'm always protective, but I'm also going like, I don't believe all women.
Yeah. This is a little girl that's just saying that they text.
Right.
That's it.
Now
It's just-
now it becomes, is what she's saying true? See, and then I
Yeah.
got to scrutinize the girl named 11 or 17 at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So
No, she was 14. Her
14.
Her name in the show was
is 11.
Yeah.
Okay. She's 14 at the time.
But she wasn't, see, the thing is, she wasn't being disrespectful. She was praising him. She's saying he's the greatest guy ever. He, we text. He tells me all the time, like, gives me great advice on boys.
Yeah, but
she's saying it
It's a little
because
strange.
if the allegations
it wasn't
are true,
strange because
but if the
Drake
allegation-
had wrote. I remember Drake. The whole Millie Bobby Brown thing was famous. He seen her at after a show, took a picture with her. Was like, I love her. You know, she was the biggest star, the kid star at that moment. Stranger Things was the biggest
Yeah.
show,
Yep.
so he was cool with her. Like he liked her. He's mentioned it. You know, and people were like, "Well, you shouldn't be cool with her. She's just like
See,
that
and
big."
now that's where the marketing comes in at. Because from a marketing standpoint, if she's 17 and she's dope and she's talented and you're swimming in a room full of sharks,
For sure.
I say, yo, look out for that. Watch out for that. And that is advice.
right?
So the question becomes, are we projecting what our fears are onto something that may have been genuine?
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. I know it is. Let me not say I know it is. Right? I don't think anything's going on there or anything has gone on. I just think Drake kind of Benzino'd himself there. You know what I mean? Like Benzino just he can't say anything right to save his life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I hate that. Shout out to the Zista.
yeah, but
I hate that.
he can't do it.
He knows. He's got
I had a
worst
talk with him the
media
other
question.
day. He's gonna come on here in a couple of days and
Good.
pause. But when he gets here, I'm gonna have to sit there and think about the same because the story he wants to talk about. I'm like, okay, what you want to go in about?
Start here.
Like, can I coach
We
you on
gotta
how to say
package
this?
this,
Yeah,
right?
because you're gonna do the same shit, and then this shit's gonna go viral, and they'll be like, "Did you hear what he said?"
And then
You
it
know what I'm
becomes
saying?
like, that's not what I fucking said.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of
But
what
he
I
can't
said.
help himself.
Right. And to your point, I think that. And I think, so, okay. So now we back to, I know that you're a ladies' man. I can use this young people thing against you.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to refute.
It's the worst.
It's hard to refute.
It's like what Trump does to people. He gives them a title. He'll say, you're Pocahontas. And now you're arguing to not be Pocahontas instead of saying what you're
Not
saying.
about legislation,
Right.
Not about. It's. I swear. I mean, I really am.
Right.
Who I say I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Sorry to cut you, but BBL Drizzy is basically a Trump nickname.
right. That BBL Drizzy thing, you
That's
can't
like
get from
yeah.
It's now. Then
BBL Drizzy.
now
Yeah.
it becomes like
It don't even got to be true.
it doesn't have to be true. Now you got to fight for. Now I look at your concerts and you got this chef's apron on, and I'm like, and then I go, bro, I actually have never saw you in the gym. Other than that
Fake
commercial.
ass picture.
commercial.
Okay, so there's valid reasons to dislike Drake. Maybe. I think that this is all centered around, from what it sounded like, it's centered around his success. And it's centered around him alley-ooping a lot of dudes' chicks.
Well, I also don't believe that he's managed his relationships as best as possible, because that's shown in the artists that he signed. It's shown in basically all the relationships as of now. The people that we thought were closest to him have turned their backs on him. So, like when Future came out and said that, this was supposed to be his ride or die. We're twins. We're gang.
Yeah.
And supposedly they fell out over a female, while Future is known for never falling out or tripping over any females.
That doesn't mean that he didn't.
But that's just one piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
What's his relationship with Wayne and Nikki?
He slept with Wayne girl.
Still fam.
According to who? Kendrick?
I think that was confirmed.
I think it was
I
confirmed.
think that was confirmed.
Wait.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot. There's a
no.
Is it confirmed?
Well,
That's
He
different.
smashed
We could
Wayne's
do-
girl?
While he was
Yeah.
locked up, yes.
yeah,
And then got Wayne tatted on his arm.
yeah. It's a rumor,
But that's
it's a
what
known
Kendrick
rumor.
said, is it not?
No, it was out before Kendrick.
Who said
Was it
before Kendrick?
Wayne's girl, or was it just like a orbiter?
I'm
She's
sure
like a
he's
satellite.
fucked her ex, and he's fucked his.
Right, that's what I'm
Is
saying.
there
It's just
animosity? Was there ever animosity between Lil Wayne and Drake?
Over that, I don't know.
Not that we know of.
What's his relationship with Nikki?
Love, brother,
He
sister.
just was out in the show with her.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
love.
right.
It's love. From I mean, keep in mind, guys, we are speaking from what we know
The
and
fans' perspective.
Right.
the fans'
Yeah.
perspective,
Yeah.
the speculation.
Look again. Here goes the problem with the whole thing: is if you have an opinion some sort of way, everybody's killing you for it,
Yeah.
right? Like this is become politics, right? Like
It's convoluted.
it's
It's too much.
if you could say right now that you like Drake, and you're of my complexion, and it doesn't matter, I'm white now.
Yeah.
Right, like immediately, boom!
Yeah.
It's not Hispanic, Hispanic or whites, anyways.
Yeah.
Like the comments are crazy, and I love them.
Yeah.
Like these morons really don't realize that I'm feeding off of this. Like I'm sitting there like I could pin you up against you, click a
Right.
button.
Let me
You know what I
tag
mean?
him,
Like,
yeah.
oh, he said that you don't know shit. You know, it's this simple.
Right.
I could lead people to just it's. I'm a troll.
Yeah. I see what
Like,
you mean.
you know what I mean? I enjoy it because for me, it's like I'm trying to tell people I don't care about either artist. And I genuinely don't, but I could pretend to care just a little bit and I can lure you in
Right.
to spend time on my Instagram account for 14 hours. You know what I mean? And they're really doing it. It's
Right.
wild to see. Like,
So it's, from your perspective, that's why your view is Drake is winning because Drake is more strategic. You honor the strategy of it,
Yeah.
the tactics.
I look at it anything this way. Anything. Right? Across every industry. If we are mad at each other, if we don't like each other, I look at it like who made who mad more? What would piss me off most of anything that has gone on in this battle? Is it being called a pedo? Right? Is it being called a wife beater? Right? Is it being called names, or is it somebody tricked me and used a fake person against me and fed me all this fucking information and made me spend time to write an entire record that I was sitting there and I'm like, ooh, I'm
Wait
about
till
to
they hear
light
this.
them up with these allegations, like, right? And then all of a sudden you release it and the other person is saying, ha ha,
Right into my
I'm the
trap.
one that was fucking your girl and told her to say that to you, you dumb fuck.
Right.
Like, cause that's what it feels like. It feels like your girl is ride or die with you. And she's like, oh yeah, this guy, he tried to fuck me and he said this and that about you. And you finally walk up to him. You think I don't know about the messages you were sending my girl?
Oh my
She
God.
showed me the pictures that were in her phone. And he's like, did she show you this one?
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, wait,
Your whole world.
you lied to
She
me?
got you wound up.
That to me says that if it's true that Drake set him up to spend all this time writing a record and thinking I got this fucking ether and it's all really fake and Drake can prove it.
Yeah.
Why do people discount that so much?
Because they look
Because
at
they don't want Kendrick to win. Or they don't want Drake to win.
I think
So they're like, oh, well, the rest of the record was amazing. You know what I mean? We got one of them here live in the building tonight.
Exactly. The
You know what I
record's
mean?
fire, bro. It doesn't matter if the record. That's the other thing. Like if you did all that shit and then you end up giving this dude an alley-oop for a fire-ass record that beats your record.
Nah.
Did
But
you
if
really
it's-
win?
If it's built off false
discredited.
premises,
It doesn't matter.
you played yourself.
It doesn't matter.
it matters.
So you're looking
It
at it
matters.
from I like the song angle.
I like the song. I like the way it dropped. I like the point it proves. I like the method of it. It's like the total opposite of what he's doing before.
So you think the truth matters in court too, huh?
Nah, I mean,
It's the same
Love the
thing.
questions.
my whole thing is this, right? This is entertainment at the end of the day.
Okay.
This is like, I mean, to your point, it's a distraction from other shit. But from the actual music point of view,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I like Drake's first diss records better than Kendrick Lamar's records.
Yeah.
I think that the Kendrick Lamar records were better songs, but would I really go back and listen to fucking Euphoria a million times? I mean, Meet the Grams is dope, but it ain't like Not Like Us. Like Not Like Us, I could vibe to, people could vibe to, and that whole the shit that I like about the record isn't even the allegations, because I'm not even sure that how true they are. But in 2015, Wayne did admit that Drake did fuck his girl, and he wrote about it in the book.
See?
Yeah.
All right, so
Sheesh.
so here's your all right.
Damn, Drake is a savage.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is
Well,
adding
it's
to
a-
the whole some of these things are like this is the reason why. But there's layers to that, right? So to your
Right.
point about the music itself, right? That's cool for the general public that's gonna replay a song. In 5 years, people will not know the context of this person. No, most of the people that's listening to this now don't know the context of the Hove Nas shit.
All right.
Word.
Right? So Ether sounds like a more aggressive, structured song than the shit that Jay put out, right? And Jay put it out without Dame at that time. My point in saying that is the general public they'll listen to Ether and be like, damn, right? And I get you from a musical standpoint.
Right.
But from a strategic, tactical standpoint, and I cannot unknow this now. I cannot unknow the fact that strategically, if this is true, you presented information knowing that this motherfucker was going to be super thirsty. He's not going to research it. I've been supremely patient, right? And in the process of the supreme patience, you do exactly what I anticipated you were going to do. And then on top of all of that, I win. And then I go, okay, cool. You got 500 more songs to put out that we're no longer going to fucking pay attention to. Strategically, I am a person that I don't give a fuck about how, like, did you win and what was the process that made you win? The thing that you might be calling a win is a Pyrrhic victory. Your Pyrrhic victory to me means nothing. I'll give you several battles. The overall fucking war. I have this conversation with the Libertarian Party a lot. If y'all don't know, I'm a libertarian, right? If you are one of those chapters of the Libertarian Party that just says wild shit, thinking you're gonna get attention,
All the time.
right? And y'all just say this shit. I'm like, that really doesn't help us. Because when I'm arguing with someone, I'm not really, the people that's watching this right now, I'm not convincing y'all. I'm convincing the people that's watching.
Right.
Word, the bigger picture.
I don't give a fuck about, like, you're gonna think, and I understand why the Kendrick thing, because I understand from your perspective. Right. I'm not trying to convince you, but if I'm bringing people onto the Black Guns Matter page or understanding or the Maj Toure or the libertarian thing, I can't say things that are going to be deliberately repulsive. And if you're a Libertarian Party chapter and you're getting on Twitter saying, oh, such and such should pick cotton for a living because you're trying to talk about free market enterprise, that's a fucking horrible tactic.
Right.
And it's just only going to make people go away from this thing that if we're trying to get political wins and more people onto our side, we do it that way, right? So that argument is similar. It's the same thing that conservatives do. Conservatives will say some outlandish shit. Jake is on Twitter right now talking about, like, it's all of the Jews. And I'm like, bro, like, how does that shit? So, like, all of them?
Yeah.
Like, do they get, like, the Illuminati credit score? Like, at what point is it after their bar mitzvah? Like, when, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're conservative and you're trying to have a political win and you're not being tactical or strategic, I kind of got to go, like, I got to disassociate because you're not thinking on a higher level. All you're actually doing is giving left-leaning media the ability to go, I told y'all they was just all xenophobic and racist and, You know what I'm saying? So like I can't turn that part of my brain off, even in something where the lines are blurred, where I don't know if this is a psyop or just music. I can't turn that part of my brain off on the tactics because I go, well, if you're saying things and you thought you had a win and I fed it to you and I went through the elaborate process of making you find a fake ass briefcase, if you let me send you on a fucking Dora the Explorer mission,
Word. It's a wrap.
Well, let me ask y'all this, all right? So
I'm glad you like the. Look, can I say what he said by way now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a
Listen,
question after that.
Orlando.
Yeah.
I really am like. I'm glad that you like the record. Like I'm happy for you, bro.
I don't
Seriously, like,
believe this guy.
I am. I'm being serious.
If that's your
I'm
moment.
just saying it this way, like. If you could ride around to the record, boom, 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 boom. Hey, you know what I mean? Like if you could drop the alien voice out, and you fucking go ahead and you're driving around and you're fucking beeping the horn at people.
right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, bro, fucking you go, girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wait. No, you go, girl. Let me finish. Like seriously, fucking kill it, man.
Right.
But what I'm saying to you is, I'm not done yet. Right. What I'm saying to you is like, I'm glad that you like the record. That's dope.
Right.
I'm not like, look, I was at the gym when the record came out. The first 2 times I heard it, I'm like, this shit is ass cheeks. Right.
See?
Then I heard the third verse again. I'm like mid-set, you know what I mean? And I'm like the Atlanta, the colonizer. And I'm like, this is a good verse. It's got the melody to it. It sounds good. And but at the same time, while I'm lifting, it's almost like I'm turning gay, bro. Like it's like like the voice that I'm hearing in my head just ain't it for me.
Right.
Like, and it's good that it's
too happy.
You know what I mean? It's the voice just ain't it for me. And it's okay that it is for other people. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I ain't really fucking with it. And then like a bunch of Orlandos are like, what? Are you kidding me?
I ain't gonna argue
you know what I
with
mean?
you about
Like
it, but I'm
you're
just
all
saying.
in traffic, jamming out to the music, hopping out the car, doing the crip walk. That's dope. Like it is dope. I'm not knocking it. It's cool to see. I'm so happy that Kendrick has his #1 like solo because Kendrick's been working hard for a very long time to be like Drake. And he's got that now. For this week at least, he's bigger than Drake.
Pause.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he got that. Yeah. But like he, and I was gonna say it too, but I'm like, it's not. I'm trying to be serious.
No. You gotta drop it. But let me ask you a question.
Yeah, shoot.
All right, so here we are. So let's make the comparison to Nas and Jay, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get both of y'all point, and it's true, right? Jay was the bigger winner. If it was a war, Nas might have won the battle or whatever, if you say so, but Jay won the war. But here's the thing. Was Super Ugly better than Ether?
I liked me personally. I loved Blueprint too.
Right.
I think that was the diss for me.
That was the
That's-
better one.
Yeah, I think that was the best diss for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like early on, no doubt, it was Ether.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know what I mean? But question for you:
All right.
is Euphoria Ether?
Not at all.
And like that, got yourself a gun?
Mm.
I don't know, man.
Mm.
Because which one had the better melody?
Right.
Well, I would say
Woke
bigger.
up this morning, it got you know what I mean? Like,
But which had the bigger impact, whether you like it or not.
but what
the
I'm talking
impact.
about, the impact right now would probably belong to the Meet the Grams or the Euphoria. The impact, the shit that was said, because Not Like Us isn't that.
Yeah.
Nah,
Not Like Us isn't nobody's listening to the lyrics on that song. They're vibing.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel Not Like Us, especially in the order that it came out. It was like the last uppercut, the brutality. He hit Drake where Drake lives, which is in the club. Because that's how Drake fucked people up. Like them diss records all the way back to back, they are club records that are disses.
Bro, fuck both of these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers, I am of the belief that this shit is here. The fucking Federal Reserve is printing up. Yeah, fucking bring it back to fucking grumpy ass
Okay,
reality.
so then let's do this then. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button, okay?
Yeah.
We had enough I had enough fun here letting people see a lighter side of you for a little bit.
Yeah,
'Cause
fuck
goddamn,
that. Let's get it back to
chill out.
fucking push-ups and
So
squats.
please, can we tell if we're going back
Shooting.
to push-ups, that's Drake's first record. No, okay, no.
It's working.
Drop it, give me 50.
Psyop's working.
So look, ladies and gentlemen, first off, thanks for coming through.
Thank you, my
You know what I
brothers.
mean? Hope you're
Appreciate
enjoying
you.
it out here in
Absolutely.
South Florida.
Yeah.
Maj Toure, tell the people who you are.
I'm just a dude from North Philly that saw people getting murdered too much and didn't have the means to defend themselves, and then saw that the United States government is just coming, too hard at people.
again.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
you're right.
you had to wait.
Right. The government is just, focusing on stopping people from having the means to defend themselves. And then when you start going down that rabbit hole and seeing the racist roots of gun control, you low key, you gotta do something. So we started an organization called Black Guns Matter, that we go around to areas where there's those levels of homicides and ignorance and negligence around firearms related stuff. And we just put together classes and teach people firearms related basics for free. And so that started around,
Did you say for free?
for free, bro.
Never heard of that before.
So listen, so not like socialism free. I mean, not like, oh, it's cool, they're our allies, print up more money and just send it to them free so we could launder the shit and act like we was helping people. Not like Haitian Relief, fucking Red Cross, not like that type of shit. But free, like the general public supports what we do from our, crowdfunding, and we just make the classes free. Though people pay it forward. If you think that
see.
people in Overtown in Miami should have the means to defend themselves, if you think the people in Chicago, if you think the people in Detroit, we go there. People pay it forward. We teach people. We link them with firearms instructors, rangers in their area, and just give them some basics, and then getting them an understanding of, the racist history of gun control. And I guess when you it's fucked up when you really start looking at it, because people will be like, oh, everything is racist now. Like you wear a Trump hat, it's like, oh, you racist, right?
The cereal you buy, the
right.
sports team you root for.
It's like, oh, the fucking Redskins changed their name, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I mean, we
boom.
No way.
I knew we were talking about politics today. Does everything change right now?
You got the sneakers too?
Nah, I didn't
gotta
get the
get the
sneakers.
gold.
I didn't have enough time to get the
Gotta
sneakers.
get the
You know what I'm
gold.
saying?
Yeah, so-
they're weird sneakers.
Just getting people to kind of open that Pandora's box. Did y'all know the first national gun grab was at the massacre at Wounded Knee?
I believe it.
And they murdered all the indigenous people. They was like, yo, just turn your guns in. And they killed. It's called the
We
massacre
got
at
you.
Wounded Knee. Right. It's cool.
And
We're
I'm
the
on.
government. We're here to help. And so we just came up with that, and then we started. That continued to snowball. We initially had a goal of $25,000 to do how you start something. You all we'll need is $25K, and it's like,
Yeah, we'll open up a
shit.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
right, with 25, everybody's rich now, $25K, you know what I mean? So we just kept going, and then more and more people were like, yo, we need you to come to our town. We need you to come here. And we had a stated goal initially of shifting who were the major gun buying demographics in America. And we did that within the first 3 years and with less than 300K.
Holy shit.
And
Come
so
on.
that's what we do with Black Guns Matter. And we've got now the Solutionary Centre, where people can come learn yoga, stop the bleed, conflict resolution, firearm safety, all of the things that, how we be saying stuff in our communities, if our communities had this, then we would be cool. So we just create the thing, link people with that other people that know the stuff,
Bridge that gap.
and just bridge the gap. So that's who I am. That's what we do. And
But why? Why is this you? What happened? When I ask you who you are,
yeah,
you're telling me who you are today.
yeah.
I'm asking you, how did Maj Toure come about? Start me from scratch, parent, upbringing,
Shit.
Philly, right?
Philly.
Okay.
Philly's a very, very it's a juxtaposition there. Philly is very historic and beautiful and fucking grimy. It's like Miami. It becomes yeah, that's cute.
It's not like you heard.
No, it's not. Yeah,
You're a
it's
Charleston,
not.
Philly.
Yeah, Charleston. Sidebar. I know that's your dude. Dude's a fucking sucker.
Mm.
Dude's just Charleston, suck a dick, bro.
Oh no.
I can't let you go crazy on him.
Damn,
That's
bro.
wrong. Like,
All right.
What happened?
I mean,
Yeah.
I hear you though. Like,
He's entitled to feel.
I let everybody, speak.
This
shit.
is
I
me
even,
saying it.
I even let him talk his shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too crazy.
Yeah, I won't go. Yeah, he's
You know what I mean?
that's
Yeah,
he's a footnote that he'll be gone soon.
Where does I don't want to jump around too much,
Yeah.
but where does that come from?
He went in on Philly.
It ain't even.
There's more to
sense-
it that he feels.
I
Look,
sense from
yeah.
Maj
It ain't even.
Yeah,
It ain't even
it's
like
more than
Philly dudes. We don't give a fuck. Like, cool. Don't come to Philly. We don't fuck with you anyway.
All right.
Like, don't come to you. You
what it
actually
is.
shouldn't come to Philly. And I'm not saying that like, or like when people be like, "Oh, you banned." I don't believe in that shit. Like, you stop fronting. The government runs shit. If you ain't matching the government, don't talk that super tough shit. Like, yo, you better check in when you. Man, I be everywhere with guns
wildest
everywhere. Like
shit.
that shit is like corny. So like, I don't mean that way. But you might run into the wrong motherfucker that just happens to see you in Philly, and they're gonna light you the fuck up. Like that's just, and that's like, and that's not a threat. That's just like there are some. I don't think that anything he says warrants that. But I'm a more distinguished gentleman. There are wild, goofy young people running around Philly that will light you up for far less. So
That is true. I don't disagree with that. I also know that Unc is one of the. By the way, I'll switch the hat out in a second. I'm trolling the people because they're like this. This is the whole point. Like when they watch the show now, they'll get this little clip. You know how Method Man was talking about. He said they'll take this little clip, and I was like, you know what? I remember I bought this hat as a troll, and usually we don't talk about shit but hip hop up here. So I'm like, I seen the hat. I'm like, oh, this hat's still here somewhere. Found it. I'm like, I'm definitely dropping
Right.
it just to prove the point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people just see something and
The
they'll
one thing,
automatically judge you based on this. Well, you did this. And I also feel like coincidentally that this happens with Charleston White.
I think that there's certain the same shit happens with me. Like again, I was falsely accused. So I go like, if that's your intro to me, I totally understand why you'd be like, what the fuck? Right? If somebody says, if I say I carry guns everywhere, it's probably a SBR not too far from me, right? So like, and people could go, oh, that must mean you're about violence. They don't hear that we teach yoga classes, that we have sewing machines, right? That like vegan classes, like these are the things. So I'm not mad at that, but you're not gonna find me saying some shit like, I'm a father. There's certain shit I'm just not into.
Yeah.
And if you double down on it, go viral all day. Like there's gonna be certain clips that are gonna be edited from this that are gonna go viral. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not mad at that part. I'm saying like, on one hand, I am a fan of exposing people's contradictions. And this isn't just him, this is anyone. This is me saying this as the discussion earlier, this discussion about hip hop. Okay, it becomes, all right, you said that right there. Seems like you guys are bullying Drake. Seems like you're a little upset that the white boy has been tossing a bunch of y'all shorties around. If y'all so solid with it, how was he able to get to her? Seems like it's that. Now, when I have that conversation, oh, now y'all want to get mad at me. So I'm a fan of exposing people's contradictions. Like, how do most of the women that I tossed around in the past, oh, how you meet my girl? Your inconsistencies introducing.
Hey, this dude's dangerous, man.
So like I'm those contradictions and inconsistencies, when I hear somebody like that saying things that are intelligent at one point, and then you turn around and say some shit that's that wild and disrespectful, and then on top of that, you go, well, I there's no reason for me to go to Philly, and that's cool. I'm not knocking it. Cool, don't go to fucking Philly. But now there's people that I am somewhat associated with or in proximity to, that I have respect for, that you're being disrespectful to, and you have the ear of these young people. They might believe that you a stand-up person. Which one is you? Is you a rat that rats on people? Or are you a person that's supposed to be leading our people in a positive direction? I personally have fallen short, right? Because I'm a regular dude, but I don't remember Malcolm X saying extreme levels of contradictory shit. I don't even remember Malcolm X cussing. So when you postulate and position yourself one way, that means your standards and your character need to be met. And a slip is a slip. A slip is not, I do half the time I'm doing this good shit or saying this good shit, and 20, 30, 40% of the time I'm doing some silly shit.
Well, his explanation is that's how it's like the Trojan horse. That's the vehicle he uses. He uses the ignorance to get through, and then once he's behind that wall,
that shit is cat.
Well, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Let me tell you why that shit cat.
Okay.
We just brought up Malcolm X. Malcolm X didn't like present information. Like the wealth, fuck, because some of these young motherfuckers is watching this ain't even gonna know who El Haj Malik El Shabazz is or was, right? Let's talk about the money of it, right? The hip hop thing. If there's an insinuation that you was messing with young girls, Nike might fall back off of you. Brand discipline. Okay. If you're presenting yourself as this leader, we got to be a leader and consistent the whole time. We're not hearing Elon Musk or Tim Cook switch that up. Oh, in order for me to get the fucking new iPhone 16 to you, I had to Trojan horse you with some silly, goofy shit in the beginning so you'd pay attention to my marketing. No. And if you feel as it, when all of the wealthiest people in the world don't do that, and the most impactful people in the world didn't do that, you're a poor man's unreasonable facsimile of that. You're telling me your inability to lead with intent. I don't say silly shit, and our organization, pat on the back but humble at the same time, we changed the face of what gun ownership in America looks like. Yeah. There's no like, yo, I had to get up there and tap dance for him real quick. I ain't into that shit. Why is it that we tend to think that the only way that intelligence, logic, power, resources in the world, in our community, this is the only way I could get to them? And that's not true. Again, the top 3 selling hip hop artists in the last decade, damn near solo artists, is Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. When was that? When were these guys tap dancing to sell millions of records? So that's cap to justify your inability to, you're not really the thing that you pretending like you is. You say some slick shit. It's like being an entrepreneur. You gotta be this shit.
Gotta really do it.
You gotta be this shit.
Word.
There's never a time where somebody could be like, in my adult life, especially let's say Black Guns Matter, right? There's not a time where I'm like, I gotta tell people, yeah, be stupid with guns and be irresponsible with guns, and like in a way to get them to come be safe and responsible with guns. It's not how it fucking works. And if I said it, it was to compensate for some fuck shit that I did, and I'm trying to cover it up instead of acknowledging where I was fucking wrong. There's no way in the world that you, and I get it. You get to say, I don't want to go to Philadelphia. Cool. We don't fucking want you there. We don't care. And you're welcome. This is the city of firsts. This is the birthplace of America.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly. So we got love for you, but love is also tough love. If you say some goofy shit, people in Philly gonna be like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. Maybe not in LA, where things may be a little bit pretentious. Maybe not even in South Florida, where it's too warm and it's too nice, and it's Coke money that built the whole fucking Miami skyline.
Yep. Big fact.
You know what I'm saying? So like maybe there won't be a certain level of, there's a certain level of pretentiousness that may happen in warmer, when it's cold half the year in certain places. We don't really got time to fucking play with you about this.
I'm from
shit.
Buffalo, New York, so I know.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's cold. What the fuck you want? You know what I'm saying? And so this is not just necessarily to him, but he's very adamant about that type of shit.
He's a good example, though, especially having you as a guest. One, because he is part fan of the podcast and all that, but the facts are facts.
I let people always speak, and you do too.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to even bring him up is because I also understand that he classifies himself as a public rights activist.
Right.
And being somebody who is also in that same line of work and in that field and trying to push that to the forefront, it's kind of hard when somebody like a Charleston White is affiliated with you. It's like what you were saying earlier.
It's not
It's
it's a bad tactic.
For what you're trying to represent and push,
right.
people point at him
Right.
as this is why we don't fuck with you, Maj.
Right.
And I feel like that may be where some of the
You know where I
frustration comes from.
first started getting that lesson? Me kicking it with Donald Trump Jr. Pictures and shit and it's like, never mind. Y'all don't know that Don Jr. is a shooter.
Gotta be.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
He'd be proud, right?
Like Don Jr. is a shooter, is a hunter, right? I'm chopping it up with him about some
but
shit.
not a hunt. Never mind.
But, right.
Not,
Nah,
not,
nah, nah, nah.
but not a
Yeah,
hunter.
you heard it right.
But not hunter.
Anyways,
But you get what I'm saying? So, but that media understanding of media going, this dude is going into urban areas. We got to make him look bad. Like he's at CPAC. This is where all of the racists are. And I'm like, oh shit. Never mind that none of my talking points have, like, my principles and how I express them have not changed this entire time. But media will go. I remember the first photo that we took, one of our early photos with Black Guns Matter. And we were joking about how to hold a firearm correctly and incorrectly.
somebody snapped the photo.
Snap the picture. That's the one to the side.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, and we made it. Okay, cool. That's a good lesson. In Japanese, the symbol for crisis and opportunity is the same symbol.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh shit, y'all got me. Okay. Matter of fact, don't show me with firearms for like 2 years. If you look early, there's very few photos of me with firearms. Because the conversation with BGM was about education, safety. You can't paint the picture if I don't give you the fucking frame. So I'm going to reframe this narrative the way that I want. And I'm going to give you as less as possible to do that. Now, occasionally I'm feeling a little more comfortable. Occasionally there's going to take the clip and it's going to be Maj Toure told Charleston White, maybe not y'all, but
we know.
the general public will be like, never mind. I said yoga. I said conflict resolution. I said sewing. I said raised $750,000 and gave it away, buying our building, helping people. We just created a $10 million fund, right? To if you got an unconstitutional gun case, right? We want to help you with the gun case. Wow. Right? We are cited in the Bruin decision. Black Guns Matter is in a Supreme Court decision in New York. It is a landmark decision because of the work that we did. Right? But somebody will hear that part, right? And that's why I'm adding all of this in here to counter it. Somebody will take that and be strategic and tactical and go, right. They can spin it like, yo, he gay. He told that dude to suck his dick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, so it's not necessarily about main man, because I've seen that energy 1,000 times before. It's not, and it doesn't take away. I know he used to do advocacy work.
Still does.
He still does. Yeah. I challenge people like that to exercise better brand discipline, to not,
would you be interested in having a conversation with him one day? Or would it just be like, fuck this guy, he said fuck Philly?
I'm far too nuanced and have been packaged a certain way to just disregard his whole
too far
life for that. But I can be very, very I'll rephrase it. You should suck a dick for the shit that you said about people that it isn't deserved. Their hand don't call for that. If they hand don't call for that, don't give it to them. That's like when how you see people making fun of people in the gym that are trying. Like I actually want to smack the shit out of you now, because why are you fucking with this person that don't want it and they trying?
My favorite one is braces. People make fun of you for having braces. Like, first of all, this is expensive.
It's a motherfucker.
Second of all, my teeth at the end of this gonna be straight. Wait till I get these bitches off. Laugh now. Braces are funny. Sure.
Here go my shit to it. Like
years later, you're Drake and you're fucking everybody's name.
Right. Right.
Don't agree with him.
It becomes like this thing. Like,
what are we talking?
I have a unusual defense mechanism for people that pick on people that they hand don't call for that, bro. Yeah. And so and now that may be a little bit of lack of brand discipline on my part, because it could look like I'm advocating for physical attacks and I'm 1000% not.
Yeah.
I think that conflict resolution is the way. The biggest component of our work is conflict resolution.
Okay.
Like it's the firearm is the tool to defend life in an imminent threat scenario. The situational awareness and your ability to go, oh, they about to do something stupid over there. I'm not going over there. That's wild. Why would I go over there?
Put myself in that situation.
Right. Like conditioning people, young people especially, to identify what conflicts are and what they're not first. Like dudes think certain shit is conflict and it's not. It's like if we all get, like, again, the Drake thing. All of you are sleeping with all of the same, like, 10 girls in whatever city.
Literally.
Right? So it becomes like, this should be a point of camaraderie and we can joke about it, because those women chose that, as opposed to a point of contention because how dare you, when I was locked up, slept with. Because again, is she your girl? Is she one that you get on your things and say, I don't have a girl, I'm whatever, and then becomes, all right, is she your young lady if other people can get access to her?
You bring up a good point, because in that same article, and I know you didn't see it, they mentioned a woman as an unnamed woman.
See?
So you're absolutely right.
Then it becomes, all right, why am I mad at the homie that slam dunked the chick that allowed herself? Like, are we painting women as like these incapable, like men show up and women are like, oh, I'm just, my body's like, I have to sleep with him now. Not that she just made an adult decision to sleep with this person. She made a decision. But which one is it? Are you the ultimate dude that like everybody that has control over everything and you don't get mad about these bitches? Or is it my man went to jail and all right, cool. You the only one me and you the only ones in the town getting the money. She's used to a certain lifestyle. So, oh, my man, all right, cool. When I come out, yo, we might have to three-way shorty. Like, which way would it, like,
I could tell that you've been practicing.
Did you get what I'm saying? It becomes, these are deeper questions that I don't think, all right, this is where I'm going to go nerd for a second.
Let's go.
In quantum physics, there's this thing called the Planck Scale. The Planck Scale is like this microscope that's like
Boy
this.
just brought out quantum physics.
Yeah, you went there for real.
Right. Learning today. You gonna learn today.
First time on the Danza.
By the way, shout out Darius for the super chat.
The Planck Scale is the most powerful microscopes can see this thing, and it's like beyond the physical realm. And at the Planck Scale, it's named after like this Austrian smart motherfucker, right? Planck.
Somebody plunk. Something plunk.
Right, something Planck. Under the surface of physical things, all matter is made up of the same fundamental shit. And under that, the physical laws of physics don't exist. It's all the same shit. So like one thing can be in two places at once, right? Like, and when it goes into the physical realm, one thing cannot be in the same place at once. But because it's all connected in the Planck scale, we all made it the same shit. So if we're all on the same team and we all about the same life and we all get money, Young Money, Drake, whatever type motherfuckers, and my man Weezy go down and I have a camaraderie with her, she for the team. She's identified herself as such. Why are you now upset? Future, insert whoever, because I don't know these stories. Y'all are looking at it like y'all have insecurities about what you thought you were capable of, what you thought was the reality, when in reality you thought this person loved you for you, but your entire catalog is, I don't love these bitches, I fuck them, I give them away. She's still in the team. Why are you mad? Now we got to look at the conversation about that you didn't look at this woman as a whole being that was able, maybe she was fucking y'all. Now you don't want to have that conversation.
Yikes.
Now you don't want to think about that shit. Now you want to, instead of still looking at yourself, now you want to get mad at your man. Now you want to make all of these soliloquies about how he ain't shit. Now you want to do all of this motherfucking writing poems about other men that you was harboring resentment for the entire fucking time. Because this shit that Drake is getting, niggas motherfuckers saying about Drake, you've been harboring this for a very, very long time.
That's a fact.
This shit ain't just hip hop.
Word.
Applause right there. I
It's
like
not
the
just
way he's
rap.
talking right now. I like the way he's talking right now, guys.
not.
This is why I can't separate it. This shit is a psychological operation that has been put onto you. Your them questions about the relationship with your father and all of these types of things. What type of light work have you done? What's your diet like, champ? Do you go to the fucking gym? When's the last time you got your hips open? Pause. Right. Like, when was the last time you went into the fucking steam room for a week straight? How much water you drink? We ain't having that fucking conversation because motherfuckers is just bubbling out all of the frustration that they got about somebody. If this is true that you in fucking New York and your woman ain't, I need to know some backstory to that.
Yeah, well, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you know what I mean?
You understand?
I know you were bumping that shit in the whip, my boy. Go ahead.
But it becomes, why do you hate this person and all of you? It's signed to a motherfucker, that's signed to a motherfucker, that's signed to a motherfucker, that's signed to a motherfucker. Oh, it's easy to argue with the motherfucker that's on your peer group. It's like, motherfuckers, that crab in a barrel shit. Okay, cool. Who the fuck put us in this barrel? Yeah. When are we gonna have that?
This is such a difficult topic to not fucking talk about. Right? Like, we left here and we ended up right motherfucking back.
Well, I mean, he's got a point though, because also the timing of everything is kind of strange. We in the middle of war everywhere. War is at an all-time high.
We are literally in World War III.
But how many Americans are focused on that and not talking about this?
Which is why I can't fucking. Okay. It's very difficult for me.
They just about to say aliens are real. They're here. They're on this planet, and they're like, no. Look at this.
Right. And knowing the history of how media operates, y'all seen it in 2020. The Twitter files. Do not let them talk about this shit on these platforms. It ain't because it's not powerful, right? So okay, cool. I want to believe that this is a healthy competition, that men do this thing. But when you start saying certain shit and I start going,
yeah, jealousy is real.
Yeah. And then and how long did it, I don't feel like you just wrote that shit, Kendrick, in like 3 days.
Nah, that's just bubbling.
So you had these, now, then I gotta go, okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. You if that's your truth, right? There's pictures, which it's certain pictures that with motherfuckers that if I know who they are, like, to go back to the Charleston thing, until he kind of cleans some of that shit up, it ain't no fuck. I'll have a conversation with him and critique. All right, tell me where you thought this was like the leadership way to go, right? 100%. However, I'm not taking no fucking pictures with you until we clean that up.
Yeah.
So you don't like this motherfucker, don't like the way he talked, don't like the way he dressed, don't like everything about his face. I don't think DMX would have took that picture with Drake. Mm-hmm. Even at the height of his fame.
Wouldn't even dap him up.
I don't fuck with you. So now we having a deeper question about you fake ass hip hop artists.
Yeah.
You the same motherfuckers that was saying I keep it real all the fucking time. I don't like none of you motherfuckers. And you can't do shit to me. I don't like any of you. Let me take that back. I like any artist that is promoting things. I like Stick, the Workout 2.
Okay.
I like music. Now, if it's trap music and I'm in the gym, like it's all coke music. And like I'm gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kill in the gym because I am an adult that has a fucking filtration device.
Yeah.
Right? But like people that are actively saying shit that is designed to, I cannot separate it. You are saying things that are designed, and you know them algorithms, that energy. operate, you would put things out that would deliberately lead to the destruction of the community that you say you about. Because not even Charleston, all you Meek, love him to life. Meek, I listen to Meek all the time. Bro, I need a change in some of your music consistently. You just said you want criminal justice reform.
Yeah.
Don't have me thinking about going back outside and selling coke.
And if you ain't about that murder game, that you know what I mean. So
now when I'm in the gym, like the fucking intro, that song will never die. That energy will never die.
Of course.
But now I need to see some sort of evolution. Shouts to Leak Moss. Leak made a transition, and his music is a reflection of that. Right? I don't want to hear your shit about like, yay, you all over the fucking place, bro. I'm a forever buy some Yeezys. However, you just was talking about Kim being half naked and she got black children. You out there with your wife now, Bianca, floating around looking wild out here.
Crazy.
I have to call the fucking our highest alignment is to the truth. And if that's going to make you feel uncomfortable just because we only supposed to be talking about Drake and Kendrick, I'm going to ask you a deeper question to make you think about, is this your actual thought? Yeah. And if you just like the Kendrick song, cool. But are we asking ourselves deep enough questions to go into this psychological operation that the corporation of hip hop now actually is?
But at the same time, can't we just have a little bit of fun and just watch these motherfuckers go at it?
No.
And just kind of just be like, I got this guy winning. You know, like
motherfuckers should have watched WrestleMania for that shit.
For sure, but some of us are done watching WrestleMania.
Fuck that.
You know what makes all the difference? And this goes to what he was saying earlier about Kendrick and just basically everything we were talking about. This is why it's important for me to believe the person that I'm listening to as a rapper.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to Kodak Black, I've said it on here before, I don't necessarily think he's the best lyricist.
Yeah.
Or he's got some of the best raps, but I believe what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Like when Jeezy was talking about selling weight, moving pounds, and doing this and doing that with the Pyrex, I believed him because I felt like he was really from that.
Right.
If I listen to a Jeezy song in 2024 that he made a week ago and it's still about Pyrex and trapping, I don't listen to it the same way. I don't appreciate it. So like Kendrick rapping about something that isn't real, I can't respect that.
Right.
Why are you doing it? What message are you trying to convey?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And bro, come on, champ. Like I'm a feel, even if it's a few years removed, I fuck with Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
Fuck with Benny the Butcher. Like
I believe him.
I believe Benny. You know? Like OT the Real from Philly.
Yeah,
it's the details that I'm like, y'all had OT up here before?
We spoken to him. He should be up here
fuck
soon.
With OT.
Yeah, he's fine.
I fuck with OT, right? It's the details in the story. I'm not saying that I was a part of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. Everything's alleged on the internet. Of course. What I'm saying is, them details is right. So
where do we draw the line?
What was it about Benny the Butcher that you could say? Because you know I'm Buffalo born and raised, but Benny the Butcher's like family.
Yeah, that's fam too. He been up here.
Benny, it's the same thing. It's he fuck with OT. Mm-hmm. It's
just organic.
It's a feeling and an organic nature of the way that the person speaks, that their anecdotal and lived experience. You feel it's like if I'm saying, you know, if I'm telling a story about when a parent never makes it home because the demon got her, and if I could paint that picture right, and I seen my uncle,
it's different,
didn't make it home, and it's the same thing. It's like in a gym, if you tell somebody, yo, we did legs today, you're gonna be cool today, but the following day and some change. Bro, I'm just telling you right now, get a whole bunch of potassium and shit. Yeah. Drink a lot of water.
Stretch.
Because day 2, 3, you're going to be fucked.
And nobody understands it till it happens.
And then they like, oh, shit, right? Because the first day, they like, no, that was all right.
Yeah.
It was cool. Right. I don't know what you talk about, right? And it's those details. Now, the line to me is, I have never heard OT or Benny say anything in real life, like other than, this is my story. These are my lived experiences. I'm sharing with them, but I don't think that you should have to do that shit no more.
I'm not promoting it.
I'm not promoting it. It's to me, you a Scorsese, and I'm not gonna attack a Benny or a OT or a Oskino or a Meek that way until you start saying the thing that I need you to change your thing that you shape the world with mostly, which is your art. I need to see some sort of change in your art too, right? I need Scorsese to say, or Mario Puzo to say, I'm telling this story about this thing. If they start going, there's too much of this in the media now. I need them to show me something in their lane that identify. I'm not saying they need to throw their catalog away.
Right.
I'm just saying I need you to show me the new you. You have RFK Jr. that's running for president now. I don't believe him. He's anti-gun. He's been anti-gun for however long, right? Now that you're running for presidency, you know you need a certain demographic of the country, and a lot of Americans are Second Amendment. So now you come up with these cliche-ass statements, and you're not telling me how you had this change of heart. This tells me that you're a presidential candidate running for a presidential seat, and you saying what you need to say. And you're not saying it right because them details, when you say, I'm not going to take anybody's guns, a genuine pro-gun Second Amendment person wouldn't even say that. Because first of all, you fucking can't. That's one.
Right.
Two.
So why don't you, first of all,
you framing that shit the way that it's a Freudian slip. So first of all, fuck you, and I don't believe you. Second of all, here's how you're wrong. And I'll be open for you to tell me what lived experiences you had that change in perspective. And if you can't tell me that in them details,
why should I believe
it's fucking cat.
Now, with that said, right, I believe you. I've watched your posts for quite some time. I followed you on social media for years. I DM'd you before from, just my regular Danza account. I spoke to you before. I've shared your posts. I believe you.
Yeah.
Why should the world believe you?
They should.
What was your upbringing like? It takes bravery. That's the word. It takes bravery to go out into a community and say, I'm going to make a change.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something significant enough to make an impact that it goes to the Supreme Court. We're going to make a change. We're going to, we're going to arm our communities.
Yeah.
We're going to teach them a different way to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
I asked you earlier. We kind of got away from it. What about your upbringing made you this in order for you to be brave? Was it mom with the heart? Was it dad with whatever he was going? What was it?
My dad sold coke. My mom was an entrepreneur too, but my mom worked at there's this thing in Philly called PASEP, Pan-African Studies and Cultural Enrichment Program at Temple University. And my mom would just always let me be free. You know what I'm saying? And my dad went to the gym, sold coke, and ate quintessential story of someone in Philly in that era.
Philly, yeah, around
right?
that time.
And so, my mom would always be little was always like, yo, you could do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? And she would be like, with certain levels of structure as I got older, she would be like, yo, you could go wherever you want, but your curfew's 9 o'clock.
Right.
I'm like, can I go? She's like, yo, if you could get to Africa and make it back by 9 o'clock,
do with what you will.
You know how to handle yourself. You know what neighborhood we in. You know what's the silly shit. You know what I'm saying?
I know is
9 o'clock.
The street lights go on.
So these were the things, and then being in Philly, and then always selling things, and then always I just always had so in high school I sold weed. So it was like selling weed. Allegedly. You just right, allegedly. You meet all of these different people from these different walks of life that everybody smokes weed. Like a lot of fucking America smokes weed.
Yeah, most people do, right?
Most people fucking you know what I mean? And then the people that you like that are not really strong people, they smoke. And then you meet dudes that really hustle and they strong people and they smoke weed too. But then you see them. I remember in high school, I would see motherfuckers pick on the Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon card type dudes. And I'm like, yo, why you picking on him? You know he don't fucking want it. Fuck out of here. And that's always been me.
Right.
It's always been like, I used to sell DVDs, right? Everybody in Philly knows me selling DVDs on the train. Like that was a thing. Like I bought my first Benz with DVD money.
Oh shit.
It was that was a fucking game.
That's a good amount of DVD.
Fucking game, bro.
CD, DVD, $5.
Right. And look, and we would do, and then it's on Instagram still now. I used to do a delivery service that was called DVDs and Trees, where I would get you 3 movies, 3 for 10, and an eighth. $50. 3 movies and an eighth for $50, and I would meet you. I would just DM me, and I would just be all over the place.
That's fine.
It was because y'all watching movies, and the movies, like, I don't know if people still go to the movies, but the movies is expensive. Like, the tickets, then the popcorn, and if you a dude and you got your shorty, it's going to be like, so I would see those dudes selling DVDs on the train, and they would be on their way to the movie theater. So I would hook them up with both.
Right.
So, and that's
fire right
that's
there.
later, and they would
I'm
like,
a hustler.
right,
I'm a hustler.
and they would be
baby.
like, yo, bro, I took her back to the crib, you hooked it up, like da-da-da-da. And so always being in that thought process of like getting new information. I remember when like Pirate Bay was a thing and like LimeWire
Torrents,
and
all
all of
that
that shit. So
How
it's
old
like,
do you know?
so I
Some
tell
people don't like telling their
I
age,
tell
right?
everybody I'm 65
Okay.
because people that are older than you don't respect you as much if you younger than them. And
Word.
people that's close to your age
yeah.
will be like, man, fuck that motherfucker. He used to sell DVDs. And a motherfucker that's younger than you, unless you really old, to be like, man, that motherfucker don't know nothing. So I'm 65,
Okay.
right? The general public always, I think, needed somebody to be like a kind of like a champion for them. Not to hold their hand, but just to be like, yo, why you picking on them? And so then when it becomes systemic, when it starts to become like, oh, this is a whole system of motherfuckers tricking people. This is a whole system of motherfuckers like lying to people. This is a whole, and that becomes a whole nother scale. So now I can't separate it.
Yeah, because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
So, and then I start connecting them dots. I started going like, you like that person. This cop is like the person that's picking on somebody that don't want it.
Word.
And then it just started to naturally evolve that way. So it was all of those different things. And then when I was making music years ago, I was like, yo, fuck this system. I'm gonna be independent. Everybody, da 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 da. So I would press up like 1,000 CDs, and I would go to different cities, and I would develop these relationships with certain people. Then I would go back, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just kick it. I've stayed in hostels in Chicago, right? Them like they got like boarding room houses type energy. And I would be there and sell 1,000 CDs at $5 a piece, develop a relationship with somebody, and then I would come back. Yo, where's Steve at? Yo, he caught a gun case. Damn, who he shoot? Well, he ain't shoot nobody. He just had the gun.
Oh Lord.
I'm like, well, that's stupid. The Second Amendment is da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Then you go to L.A., get on their trains, sell the CDs, develop a relationship. Come back to L.A. Yo, where Marcus at? Oh, he caught a gun charge. Damn, who he shoot? He ain't shoot nobody. He just had the gun. So then you got to tie that into when I was in high school, I lived in Philly. And if it wasn't no money in school, I would leave. Or if I got off of all on my tree, I would leave. And I would just be taking tours of like City Hall and going, like the Constitution was signed in my city. It's up the street from the crib. So, like Southern Florida, y'all got places like New York. The Bridge and Tunnel crowd come to New York like Friday, Saturday. Like the New Yorkers, like, we not going out fucking Friday. That's the Bridge and Tunnel crowd.
Yeah.
Like that's like saying somebody from Miami, like, yo, you be on South Beach, and they be like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? These tourists are fucking annoying, right?
That's the rookie hour.
Right. So
Amateur hour.
I would be going to do these things that nobody from Philly would go do. I would go take tours of like William Penn's house. And I would go into take tours of City Hall.
What sparked your interest to do that?
I was high as shit. I was high as shit.
That's not what I expected.
And I would, you know what I'm saying? And I would be going like in Philly. If y'all seen the building in City Hall with William Penn on top of it, there's an elevator that goes all the way up to right under William Penn. And you walk out and you can see the whole city in a panoramic view. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll be up there fucking blasted just thinking about shit. And then I would go take another tour, and I would be like asking the tour, you know, whatever. And they would be like, yeah, they were fighting for freedom. And I fortunately never made the separation never happened. My uncle was giving me books on like Harriet Tubman and Benjamin Banneker. So all of these people was already freedom fighters, and I didn't make a separation. You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker be like, yo, we was fighting against the tyranny of King George. And then right after that, I got the story of Harriet Tubman, who she fought and led a regiment for the North to fight against slavery. So I'm like, oh, she was. So those people are all the same to me. I will blend them. Everything starts to look at the Planck Scale to me. It's all the same. So I just start going like, you can't get me to be like Malcolm X fighting against segregation in the 50s and 60s is different than Patrick Henry fighting for give me liberty or give me death. Right. So my curation of this shit was just that, and I could just be able to translate this shit to different people. Like if I tell a motherfucker like, yo, William Penn wanted to do business with the Pawnee and indigenous people there. He didn't want war with them. Philadelphia was set up to be a place where women had rights, religious rights, and getting that history and then going to Virginia and colonial Williamsburg and reading different things. And the motherfuckers was like, all right, slavery's a thing. It's a thing, right? Mm-hmm. But we got to try to get these rich motherfuckers that own plantations to give us the money to get out of being colonies and make our own thing. But they want slavery. Even when the Civil War happened, right? Tough sell. It's a tough sell. We getting money. That's like telling motherfuckers in the 70s and 80s, hey guys, you should stop selling cocaine in Miami. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's working.
Free,
what are you talking about?
Free labor, you know what I'm saying?
Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is, and they called it this peculiar interest of ours. So when you start reading this,
peculiar to who?
To them, because it was like, look, we getting money off this shit. When you start reading the letters where the South was separating from the North, all of their secession letters was like, we trying to do the slavery shit, y'all not. Abraham Lincoln was capping because he was lying like he wanted to actually help free black folk. He didn't. He wanted a more centralized federal government. So he used slavery as the thing. Like, you know, this is fucked up. Come on, y'all should be with us. Oh, wow. And then courting the black people that was in the slavery is like, yo, come through. Fuck them. They don't give a fuck about you. So it's all levels of cap. And my understanding of that based on history and being able to translate that shit and recognizing that all of this shit wouldn't have happened without guns, and then knowing that the history of gun control was older than America, that was the first thing. As soon as they touched down in Plymouth, like 16 something was like the Negroes, indigenous people, because they was the same thing, Negroes. That's where the whole like, you got Indian, I got Indian in my family. That comes from some American shit, right? They can't have guns. If they have anything that is an arm or looks like it is an arm, this is Virginia legislation. White males were within their rights to shoot them. Oof. So gun control in that racist practice is older. Now, saying all of that I just fucking said, right? That is 20 years of my lived experience and doing all of this different shit and retaining the information and studying it and being able to be out of the separation of, well, that's this type of freedom, not that type of freedom. The general public generally doesn't have that amalgamation of all of those historic reference points. Yeah. And I'm a fucking nerd, so I be reading all the time.
Shout out to you for thoroughly explaining it, where a lot of people like kind of run away. I was 15, I made a record. Right. You know what I mean? Because I've been trying to find out. I genuinely want to know.
Yeah.
Right. I tell, Kato and I have been speaking about this forever. And for the fans that are viewing right now, I want you to understand this. When we sit down, we want you to get to meet Maj the same way that we're getting to meet Maj. So we learn from scratch. Although I know that you're out in the community doing work. What do they know?
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't know shit about you, and we got to always attack it every single time, every single show they watch. Because I'm introducing myself right now at this very moment to your fans. Right. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying, hey, here's me from scratch.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might have heard this before if you've watched the show 40 times.
Right.
That's fine. And they might have heard this from you before if they've watched you 30 times. But now you've just painted a picture for them of who you are.
Right.
How you got here to what you're doing today. what was your inspiration behind it? Because you mentioned your grandfather was the one that was giving you the advice.
My uncle.
Your uncle, okay. Now you mentioned your uncle. Was this your inspiration into becoming the man that you are today?
Nah, it was that shit. Like low key was an accident. All of the stuff start working together, and them lessons start connecting. Y'all know better. Like in the gym, when you're dealing with yourself and having to like have those deeper conversations, then them light bulbs come out, be like, oh, this is kind of like that. Then these things start connecting. Them neurons start firing together and they start wiring together.
Makes sense.
So you be like,
You get high just off that.
yeah. And you like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be a great Second Amendment activist. And I'm like, oh shit. Damn, I was already an activist. I sold the Burning Spear newspaper, which was an organization called the Uhuru Movement, which is based out of St. Pete. Shouts to Chairman Omali Yeshitela, right? Yeshiteli, excuse me. That was that and the Burning Spear newspaper and the Black Star newspaper, which was originally started by Marcus Garvey. Earlier on, years ago, I would sell that on the train in Philly. So I had access to that information, right? So I'm saying I'm going to be the best Second Amendment activist and advocate, but then I'm in the gym and I'm like, oh shit, I already was kind of doing that. And then that connects, right?
This led to that.
Right.
That's why, okay, boom.
Then when motherfuckers be like, yo, how can you translate something so well, a seemingly, like the viewers today will be like, damn, that shit, I didn't even know that shit about Philly. I didn't even know that shit about William Penn. I start saying words like Iroquois, Pawnee, Choctaw, Cherokee,
All the Indians.
all of the, like
I'm hitting Google.
Susquehanna.
Like, what are these noises?
Y'all are Seminole in Florida,
Yeah.
right? Then when you hear the phrasing and motherfuckers like, you got Indian in your family, and them light bulbs start connecting. My skill set is the ability to translate because I'm really a teacher. I'm really an instructor.
In many ways, yeah.
How can I get this person to understand what I just said in a manner that they can relate without trying to do the negative Trojan horse shit? I don't want to make them think that they have to be negative or subpar to receive the information. So I'm just going to consistently tie all of this shit together. So now that I'm saying negative Trojan horse, that's going to tie into the conversation about fucking Charleston White, and it's not an attack on him. It's going to be that, and then people will go, oh shit, somebody that's going to watch this is going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Horse condoms, Trojan horse, what the fuck is that?
That's true.
Then they're going to be like, oh shit, then they're going to get that story. That's how it happened for me. It was just paying attention to like, oh shit, this was that. DVDs and sales. I had a job at Footlocker. I haven't had, like, that was like one of my last jobs, right?
Word.
And in Footlocker, in sales, when you make a cert, they train you to do multiples. That's why every time you went to go get some sneaks, they was like, you need some fucking sneaker cleaner or some socks.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm
Got
like,
new
upset.
shoes, man. You can't wear new shoes with dirty socks. Get some new socks,
Get
man.
some laces.
We're
Get
having a
some of this.
special.
Hey, Miles
Get
just
this.
walking up to, why are you buying these shoes?
Right.
You know what's happening inside of your community.
Do you need these shoes? Did you come here for that?
In reality, brother.
Nah.
In reality.
Yeah.
It becomes that. And then I translate that to, damn, this dude is, I know he don't want to go spend $200 at the movie theater. And I got the movies and he usually buy them from me, but he not buying them from me when he with this shorty. Can I get him to, she look like she smoke. I know he smoke. Can I sell them both this? So all of these things just started connecting. So then when I'm doing BGM and I'm like, okay, we giving the classes away for free. What can I do for people that's like, I want to donate, man, but I don't really like give, send, go. Well, I was on GoFundMe at the time, right? I don't like such and such. You got another way? And I'm like, what? There's a thread here. I could get them to, what is my organization about? Telling them how racist gun control is and how they shouldn't support it and how they should be safe and responsible. Maybe we should put a fucking phrase saying all gun control is racist on the t-shirt. So when somebody says, yo, you got some other way I could support you, I could give them that. And so I don't think that I knew exactly. You just start walking and just keep going forward. And then you start paying attention to all of those things that happen, and you're then like, oh shit, I'm a more well-rounded being. Then you have a standard because of your characteristics in certain rooms that you're in. If I'm selling weed, if we went in on this pound, a couple pounds together, we know the responsibilities, requirements, roles, and restrictions that are associated with this thing that we did. Right? And so if I get bagged for it, the standard is I am being bagged for the thing that I chose to be involved in. It's not, well, he was doing it with me too. There's no honor in that.
Right.
So now that translates into these other conversations. Then when you study outlaws, when you talk about, okay, well, why is this thing even outlawed? Why is this weed that I'm selling outlawed? Then you start doing the knowledge of that shit and you're like, oh, this dude, literally the first dude that created cannabis decriminalization was like, his thought was cannabis. He didn't say cannabis, he said marijuana because they was trying to target the Mexicans with it. He was like, cannabis makes white women want to sleep with Negro jazz musicians.
It makes you crazy.
Facts.
And then the reefer madness shit.
For madness.
So then
that
that
just doesn't even sound like a lie, though.
it's kind of true, but he was
Still being-
he was mad.
Actually, now with
Right.
new science, it could potentially cause schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. But anyway,
Well, all of this other shit.
So he was Kendrick Lamar.
But it was a different-
he was mad that like y'all fucking all of my bitches. Send him to jail.
They
parallels
free.
here.
So when you start seeing that, then you kind of like, oh shit. So the outlaws are actually right. Then you start to look at the history of America, and you like, America was founded on fuck the police, the redcoats. America was founded on violence. We tried to do it diplomatically. King George and them wasn't allowing it.
That didn't work.
So then you start paying attention to all of this. Then you look at the founding of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. And they was like, look, all right, listen, we just came from this fuck boy. We fought. King George was on some fuck shit. We not going to do that. Then the founders was like, yo, we got to argue about these points. We cannot give too much power to the government.
Right.
We got to have a Bill of Rights. That's why the Bill of Rights are not granted by government. They are things that are actually checks on the government. First Amendment. Right. The government cannot
God-given
persecute you.
I call it inalienable rights.
Inalienable.
Yeah.
So don't nobody in our fucking hoods view it that way because they don't even teach the shit now.
Yeah, wow.
So my skill set in all of this walk, and then it's not that I knew, it was just like, oh shit, I know this because I was doing that thing, getting high and shit, and going to take them tours and reading the Constitution and going to this place and such and such and such. And then I'm like, oh shit, y'all don't live in Philly. Y'all don't have access to this historic place. And so I'm like, all right, now tie all of this shit together accidentally. Now be able to translate it. So that ties into sales. That ties into, upsales. That ties into multiples. That ties into connecting these dots.
It's still wild because it's not an easy sell, right? Like I'm, as the people love to tell me, I'm light skinned, right? I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican.
Yeah.
I grew up in the east side of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 white families and
Yeah.
15 blacks.
Yeah.
Right. Latino families, not too many. We were on the west side. Right. I could say this with 100% understanding of it. Black people do not receive these messages well. It's more of historically, right? Like we wanted to believe, you know what? They said Donald Trump is racist. Donald Trump is racist. They say, gun control. Like how are you able to translate? Because that is the most impressive thing that I'm hearing, right? Like to be able to translate to a community, the Latino community too. We kind of just like go with the flow a lot. Like, we do our own thing. Don't get me wrong. We hustle. We do our own thing in our streets.
Yeah.
But it's super difficult for us to kind of
ruffle feathers, disrupt.
Yeah, like to understand your message. Because a lot of the time when somebody like yourself will come through, man, he's tripping. He's talking all this like, community shit. Like you know what's like we already know what's going down. We
Peace,
got our
my brother.
Yeah. So like exactly. It's like more like diss him and disregard the message. What are you doing to be able to really translate? Like how did this that to me is like what I've been sitting here trying to figure out the whole time that I've known you. Just you're able to deliver the message.
It's a distilled understanding of higher complex things that are simplified and made relatable. So, and I don't judge
In that order.
I don't in that order. And I don't go, you're a piece of shit because you listen to murder, death, kill music. I listen to a lot of murder, death, kill music, but I'll add that I have a filtration device because, hey, maybe somebody told you that you're only supposed to listen to murder, death, kill music. And I know that you was a human like more than that. Like a lot of you take all of my killer friends, play some fucking Luther Vandross, and they gonna fucking sing.
All right.
Yeah.
So it becomes like me knowing that, I just go like, yo, I just introduce and then give them something that they could relate to without judgment. Like, listen, bro, you're not going to make me ever forget that there is a balance between systemic things and individual choice. And I never move or discuss things outside of that.
It's a big gem
So
right
when
there.
somebody says, oh, it's the music, I just like the dope music, I go, boom, that's dope. And I understand from your perspective. I genuinely get it. Then when you're like, but it's the numbers, like this is he's the most dominant whatever. And if he did, I can understand what each person's thing is and articulate to them from their language. As a public servant, I really don't have a voice. I'm serving and translating and speaking for people. And you can't do that and judge. If this person doesn't know shit, the system initially is responsible for it. Why? Because your fucking government said, you live here, you got to go to this school. And then they underfunded that school.
So, yeah.
So I can't just go, man, you don't know how to balance a checkbook. If people still do that shit now, right? You don't know how. I go, yeah, you don't. And I know why you don't. Now when I go, here's the Solutionary Center. We're doing a class on finances. It's basics. I know why the hood, there's gun. You see it every 4th of July and every New Year's Eve. There's 1,000 bajillion guns. But I know you guys were told to not have the information. I just escaped the fucking matrix because I was selling shit and getting high and just going. I now go to places and be like, what the fuck is behind this door? I don't know what the fuck. Why they paint that fucking door red?
Yeah.
And I'll twist the fucking, what the fuck is this? Right? And then I'll go, hey, y'all, there's a red vegan restaurant in this red door, if y'all didn't know about it. So I'm just letting y'all know. Instead of going, oh, the vegans are, I was a vegetarian for 10 years. So why the fuck would I judge? Imagine me, it's the gym. Imagine me trying to make fun of somebody for eating life. You dumb motherfucker. So I go, oh, you want to make fun. Your identity is tied into somebody told you that you're supposed to make fun of people eating life. Oh, you mad that he wanted a celery juice. Somebody, that same system that didn't tell them about civics, didn't tell you about what fruits and vegetables do.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I'm going to have a steak with you. And I'm going to be like, come on, man, let's go to the gym. Or I'm going to do these things. And then I'm going to start this is all strategy for me. I'm going to make you a fucking force multiplier. I'm going to introduce to motherfucking gorillas. Literally. And then I'm going to go, you know they vegans and shit. That's wild that they vegans.
It's crazy 'cause I hear the message. This
like
is
a
kind of
pretzel.
like me.
You see what I'm saying? And they go, what you mean they a fucking vegan? I'm like, yo, them motherfuckers. I mean, I know you think vegans is obnoxious, but shit, if I was as strong as a gorilla, I might be kind of obnoxious too.
Just
and then they
saying.
go, wait, they fucking vegans?
And now gears are starting to turn.
Elephants.
Yeah.
Like, the whole purpose, everything is tactical and strategic. If it is a wasted move on this chessboard of life, I'm just not fucking interested. I am a point guard. I want us to win. I don't have to score for that to happen. I just need to dish the rock, and I just need to know your skill set. I don't judge your skill set. Kobe's going to get his. And when he's open, he's going to let me know if I even got the ball because he could run the point too. However, Pau Gasol, no great player, no team ever becomes a dynasty unless the best player can show the other players how to see the floor the way that he sees the floor. They'll just be great individual players. James Harden might be one of the best scorers in the last 10 years. He's not going to win a fucking championship.
No, it's not cohesive.
Russell Westbrook. You do not know how to get... Does Pau Gasol ever get a championship without developing the relationship with Kobe and Kobe showing him how to see the floor?
We're seeing it happen right now.
Woohoo.
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, 100%. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And me tying Planck Scale, tying all of these things. I'm in Philly. Allen Iverson is one of my... I'm like Allen Iverson.
Of course.
I got to win a chip. I can't... Us getting in the Supreme Court that's a playoff victory for me. We overturned the National Firearms Act. We overturned the Gun Control Act of 1968. We get a ring. How can I get people to see this shit? And it's the answer to the question is, the translating is, why are you judging? What the fuck? Do you have $100 million, Maj? Are you fucking, can you levitate, Maj?
Yeah.
Like, did you go to the other side and show back up to be like, I can judge people? No, you didn't. So then, since you fucking didn't, translate this shit and understand that I'm not going to give them a pass when they're not making smart individual accountability choices. I'm not going to be like, well, it's the system and you have no say in that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to judge them initially. I can definitely identify where the system fucked them over immediately, and then I give them a blueprint. But I'm graceful with how I approach them because the matrix is real and that shit works. Mm-hmm. That shit Katt Williams said about how the matrix work in one of the stand-ups when he said, they just be lying to you and you don't even be paying attention. They told y'all that there was a fucking chicken wing shortage. And then was like, here go legs and shit. When the fuck, how'd you get the legs with no wings?
Come off the same bird, right?
It's the same bird. But getting people to recognize that shit and simplify it, they go like, oh shit. When I say all gun control is racist, and they go like, well, no, what do you mean by that? And I say, well, it's older than America. Or when somebody says, and the reason why it started, right? When I say, you are a slave, and they go, no, the fuck I'm not. I'm like, yeah, you is. You're a slave to the system. You can't even get out of this country unless they okay it.
Right.
You cannot leave or get back in. I've made that wrong turn in Buffalo and was in fucking Canada.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
They took my guns. They charged me for like $4,500, right? On the oops. And it ain't like it's a well-designed bridge that like, yo.
I've done that living there.
And they was like, yo, you got
Struck,
guns? I'm like, yeah, I got, yeah. They took the guns. They took, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, it costs like close to the amount that I had in cash in the fucking truck, of course, right? But then coming back into America, it was the same level of scrutiny. You're not, if I say to you, you're not a free man anymore, or woman, and then they go, and then I explain it to you, the government takes your money. The home that you own outright, if you don't pay the government taxes,
it's not your home. It's
not your fucking home. It's theirs.
So it's not your home in the first place.
They will send shooters to fucking come kill you if you don't give them money. Does that sound like freedom? So when I paint this grim picture and then you get all fucking awkward about it, and I go, well, the founders was like, we gonna be strapped. And you may not live in Miami. You may not be able to throw a fucking seed in the ground and just grow food. Maybe you should start fucking thinking about that shit.
Right.
These are the things that to be able to translate without judging, to give people the information that they could kind of utilize for the brass tacks, for the brass tacks of their life. And me, the ability to translate is just me going like, yo, what I want for my brother, I want for myself. So I'm not gonna, I know who fucked you over. I know that it's the system. I know it is. Like, if you got a job, if you're a listener right now, and you have a regular job, they went in your check and took your money that you worked for before you saw it. That shit is wild. The Biden administration is advocating for a 45.6% capital gains tax.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Wait.
The Revolutionary War. Think about that. That's not including state and federal.
Everything else, right.
So when I explain that to black people and I go like, or Latino communities, and I'm like, is this, y'all just didn't have somebody to explain it simply.
Yeah.
Because we become.
So explain it simply.
The government is a mafia. You are a tax slave. If you don't have the means to defend yourself and be independent and defend what you have, you're a tax slave to them. And they'll try to effectively convince you through saying that it's for the billionaires. Everyone needs to pay their fair share. And if you don't know history, there was no income tax before 1913, 1914, when most of the fucking country was built. They are lying to you. Now, whether we could go far into it, whether it's a fucking flat earth and we just the tax colony here and it's the fucking ice rings around us, the shit could go further.
Yes.
But the reality is, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some truth to that. Who knows?
It's tempting, ain't it?
Who knows? You never know. Maybe I'm just a high school dropout. Maybe I read a few things. You never know. Either way.
A few things.
But when you think about this, the Revolutionary War was started over a small amount of tax, like 3 to 4%. The Biden administration
Here we are.
has just advocated for a 45.6%. So for the layperson that may say, well, capital gains doesn't bother me because I don't have capital gains. I didn't sell a house for a $500,000 profit, right? Or whatever. Under that thing too, if you make around $400,000, right? With inflation, that's not like a lot of bread.
Anymore.
Not no more. Like that, like
that's not in South
like
Florida.
in South Florida back in like the 70s and 80s, you could get a crib like close to the beach for like 10 grand, 60, 70,
Shit.
like the Golden Girls type era.
Yeah. I've been watching the Golden Girls.
That shit, I'm like, yo,
I've been back on it.
yo, remember the fucking Al Bundy from Married with Children was a fucking shoe salesman. He had a pretty high crib.
He had a house, 2 kids, a car, the whole shit.
Wasn't the best, but
It was a Dodge, but you know.
But I'm living, right?
Nah, Blanche was killing it.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is less than 50 years ago. The inflation is creating a space, and historically, the entire Revolutionary War was around 3-4% tax. The Biden administration is advocating for a 45.6% capital gains tax. And if you think because I didn't make capital gains, cool, that's cute.
So this is where it
But
starts.
they package it as if it's this thing for them super rich. Okay, cool. We could say that. But those people go, oh, that's their tax rate for corporations? Indonesia's looking really fucking beautiful and lucrative for us, and they leave, then the jobs leave. This happened in black communities all around the country. Detroit, the car manufacturing, Philly was a textile manufacturing. All of these things happen, but tax basically means give us your fucking money or we're going to send shooters to fucking come kill you. That's what tax is. That's what laws are. There is no law that is so minute that they will not send their shooters to murder you for non-compliance. So when we start telling the people shit that way, then they start going like, and I'm like, hey, I'm not judging you. Main man on the left and them got some better PR, but this is what they actually mean. So I explained it the same way I explained to people about gun ownership. This shit was started to make sure that you thought y'all was separate. Oh, that's cute. That's not, this shit was started, and look at the outcome now. It's the same outcome for a constitutionally protected human right. So you just translate it the same way. There's nobody that's going to watch this right now. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Go do the research. It's simple Google.
Please do the research, y'all.
When that happens, because I don't want, to your question earlier, I don't want nobody to believe me. Belief is ignorance. I don't even believe in belief.
Oof.
I'll be like, do you know or do you not know?
Say that again. Belief
It's ignorance.
ignorant.
I believe, like if somebody asks you like, yo, what's your name? I believe my name is Maj. No, you fucking know. You either know or you don't. Bro, did you fuck her? You spent $1,000 on dinner. Did you fuck or no?
Well, I believe.
I believe I'm close to.
You might have created some new shit.
I believe I met. You know what I'm saying? So like, getting people to understand that way and going like, they're making you a tax slave. But if it's done incrementally, like you cooking crabs and shit, and like slow boil the bitches, frogs, you don't really feel that pressure. And because they turned the pressure up so fast in the last 4 years, starting in 2020, right? Y'all feel it. You'll remember under the last Trump administration, and not just because of Trump, but like there's an impact, just like printing up hundreds of billions of dollars and sending it to all of these proxy wars that we're in, and now your pocket lighter. That's the same as the inflation. Why there's no $10,000 cribs in South Florida now. It's them working in conjunction with the Federal Reserve Bank, which is not a federal entity, printing up massive amounts of money. Then let me fuck y'all heads up. You happen to
more
money. They just
further.
So they like, yo,
fuck your head up more.
We need your money, and we're gonna print money up for the shit that we want.
Yes, wow.
So if there was no actual need for you could just print the money up, why did you need my money? Because I want you to stay in a nice little position. Now, if you happen to start investing in shit, we're gonna hit you with a capital gains tax to keep you in the fucking inflationary cycle. Because we want you to be a fucking tax slave.
And then you got these motherfuckers saying, but Trump doesn't pay taxes.
Why would I?
Listen, who the fuck wants to pay taxes?
Why
the
would
key has always been to try to figure out every loophole to get the fuck up out of there.
The nation was founded on fuck you for charging me for taxes. Government does not make anything. They don't produce. You ever have, I don't know how many of the viewers smoke, right? But you ever had somebody that every time you about to roll up, they show up?
Yeah.
Fucking Hoovers.
Not the vacuum.
Right?
Yeah, the Hoover alone.
And they never,
Yeah.
right? You crack the bottle open. And they
always. Yeah.
Oh, we drinking? What's up? Okay.
That's the government.
I didn't know that's what we was doing.
Facts.
So, explaining it in a way that the general public understands and tying it into everything that's in their everyday life, and them not thinking that the things that they're talking about or the things that they're trying to avoid and not they think it's not related.
Yeah, too often we're saying, that doesn't relate to me.
And it does.
It doesn't have anything to do
Ignorance
with me.
is
Let's say, okay, so I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Got 15 employees here. They're saying, okay, well, if you make over $400,000, right, we're going to take 45%, right? I'm used to getting $20,000 a week. Now they're saying you're going to make $11,000 a week. Where am I taking the money from first?
Employees.
I'm taking it from their payrolls. Hey, look, I can't pay you as much anymore. I'm sorry.
Or,
hey, your incentives are gone. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you.
No more Christmas.
I'm going to call some people in Indonesia to do the marketing for me now. You know what I mean? So it changes. And then people are like, oh, well, I'm not valued anymore. Well, you didn't value anything when they said, hey, go vote.
right.
You know what I mean? Like there was no value.
I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
The left is very, very skillful with their media. They do a masterful job of making it look like the Republicans and the Democrats are not the same uni party. Now, Republicans, what I will say generally, on taxes, they a little bit more like, hold the fuck up now.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute.
Let's be real.
Like, hold on, guys. What the fuck is happening, right? However, the left is masterful at making it. They give you a villain to chase, not knowing that the entire structure is designed to fleece you.
Yep.
And if I can fleece you and I can make you a labor slave. I can make, okay, you made the 400, cool. Now you only made 2. Now, if you don't want to fire your employees, you all are working for the tax man. When none of this shit existed, everybody should read The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's a great book. It talks about how the Federal Reserve was created. And there's some theories about that. Like a lot of the motherfuckers that would have pushed back against that crashed on the fucking Titanic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a high school dropout. You never know, right?
I've heard
But
that.
there's
What was the name one more time? I'm
The
sorry.
creature,
from Jekyll Island.
Creature from-
So now how does this all tie back into guns? If you are not armed and you know this shit and you're like, yo, fuck this, right? You have to have the means to defend your value systems in a little bit that you have. If you don't have the means to defend your shit, your value systems, you actually don't have any. It's like my nana used to say, when you start telling a bunch of people your plans, you don't have plans, you have arrangements. So it's like you don't have the means to defend anything that's in alignment with the history of how this nation was founded. So the government just shows up and says, that's how Overtown looks fucked up now in Miami. That highway,
Yeah.
they just was like, yeah, fuck this. Eminent domain.
You know what they used to call Overtown before Overtown?
What?
The Central Negro District.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
And they said we're gonna build a highway right
Yep.
through that shit.
It was, and was also another was like the Harlem of the South, with all of those businesses.
Really?
And it was like, fuck this shit. That's government. So simply, government is a mafia forcing you to finance things that they will print more money up to keep you in the tax cycle loop. And if they know that you don't have the means to defend yourself, and if I can convince you to vote in your own disinterest for more us to have more power, and you keep saying the lesser of two evils, right? That's what the mob is. Yo, it's the fucking A-team. We having trouble. You hire us, give us some money, and we'll. It's like there's a meme that says, "Police are at the door like the tax man." And it's like, yo, give us $30. We're gonna give us $30,000 so we can protect you. And the person behind the door is like, protect us from what? What we gonna fucking do to you if you don't give us $30,000?
Yeah. Create our own market.
You know what I'm saying? And so like when you explain that to our demographics that way, they get it. And then my opinion after that is y'all should look into independent or libertarian candidates on the local tip. The duopoly is fucked. That's their business model. That's and I get it. Like
crazy.
if I was a super villain, I would do it too.
I read a book
But
one
do you
time.
think it-
My bad. I was saying I read a book one time from one of these Republican senators. I think Clyburn or something like that. And he was saying that the biggest myth is that Republicans and Democrats are different because they do the same shit. Once they get into office, they spend all their time fundraising for the next election.
Republicans and conservatives are progressives doing the speed limit. That's my guy. That's my guy. I forget his name, and I'm having a crazy brain moment. But yeah, it's all cat. I just would recommend everybody just looking at libertarian or independent candidates on the local level. When you say shit like I ain't really interested in politics, bro. Two things: one, politics is fucking interested in you, and two, politics is how the world's resources are moved. So if you don't know how to speak the fucking language, and you don't know how to maneuver, and you don't know how to put people in position that are going to be more in alignment with your financial, because that's what politics is, like the securing, maintenance, and expansion of your interests. And if you don't know that, and you're not interested, oh, we love that. We will have you voting for a Biden that's going to say, we want the billionaires to pay their fair share. Let's say if the billionaires didn't leave, and they're like, okay, cool. They're going to increase the prices. It's like when motherfuckers be like, we need $20 to work at McDonald's. We need $20 an hour. And McDonald's goes, okay, if that state legislature does that, they go, okay, these are machines now. Bye.
You thought.
It's like, just get people to think of it differently. If the government is saying you have to pay, this private business has to pay this person this amount, that steals the freedom of the laborer. I can do that job for $7 an hour. I want you to get, he wants to do it for $11. I can do that job for $8 an hour. I should be able to set the price of my labor, even if it's lower. I want $8 an hour to do that job.
Yes, you want the job.
Because I want the job.
Well, you sound like a union right now, and people don't fuck with unions.
But here's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
But all of these governments do bids, do contract bids. They take your money, they print the money, they hire a company. The company goes, okay, cool. It's government funded.
Yeah.
Raise the fucking
gonna
price of the
cost you
job by 40%. Because they got the money.
Every time.
And it's your tax dollars. But the general public don't get it spit to them that way. They think that this shit is complicated. It's not. It's a money laundering scheme with you as the tax cow for them to milk you for the whole time.
And I like how you brought up the vendors, because the biggest corruption scheme is the kickbacks that people get from the vendors.
Bro, somebody was in Congress like 2 weeks ago, and it was a bag of nails or some wild shit that they were like, this cost $90,000. Congress spent $90,000 for this. This is why the duopoly, Republicans and Democrats, universally were in alignment with that last $95 billion sent to Ukraine and Israel. 65 went to Ukraine in that omnibus bill. 65 went to Ukraine. 20-something went to Israel. And 8 billion, whatever the numbers work out to, 8 billion went to this thing called the Indo-Pacific Security. That's them setting up for the war with China because they want the Taiwan shit. Why do they want to fuck with Taiwan? Because Taiwan is where all of the semiconductors and shit and the processes and shit is.
And that's what got fucked up during the pandemic. And that's why all that supply chain shit slowed up, because they only come from one place.
And it's the mob. We went from being America, being Leonidas in the 300 fighting against the fucking empire. Now we fucking Xerxes and shit.
We're the empire. Whoa. Yeah, man.
Fucking grumpy ass Maj. Making it fucking awkward.
No, it's
what I
great.
like
Fucking came here to talk about hip hop and shit.
What's dope about
Nah, you ain't come here to talk. This is what the fuck we came here to talk about.
what's dope about Maj Toure?
Yeah.
What's dope about Maj Toure is, like you said, the ability to teach. What comes with that is you have to be able to meet people at their level.
Yeah.
It's like we all have our own frequency. I'm a radio, you're a radio, you're a radio, you're a radio. If you go to channel 2, you're on channel 3, you're on channel 7. I need to be able to go to channel 2, 3, and 7 with whatever I'm trying to convey to and with these people. And that's an important part of what you're saying. You're basically trying to break it down to these people in a digestible fashion. Right. In a way that they'll actually understand what you're talking about. Because this is not easy to talk about.
No.
Even in layman's terms, you can get lost, turned around, flipped upside down because what did he just say?
I have a belief that some of the people that know it's simpler are saying it more complicated to get you to buy in. Buy this.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like if you go to the gym, if you start, cool. Squats, presses, like fucking curls.
Pull-ups, dips, crunches.
Like come on. But when they get in the gym and they like, yo, you gotta like ride the treadmill on top of a bike and like jump up and down with fucking weights on. And it's like, bro,
with resistance
with
bands.
the resistant bands, get this fucking hippie shit out of here, right? And so just getting people to understand that is simple. You do have to do some work to study and pay attention, or get behind and support people. You know, this is where my plug comes in. Get behind and support the people that's doing the resources. We have a website, solutionaryuniversity.org. All of our in-person classes are free. With the remaining $200,000, we try and buy our building outright. That number initially started at $25,000, and we kept people's like, yo, you got to come out of town, and they was like, yo, just raise the number to like 100. And I was like, on Twitter, I was like, yo, y'all sure? And they like, yeah, raise it. I'm like, all right. And then we got to like 500,000, and they was like, make it $1 million. And I was like, yo, y'all sure about this? And we would just do polls. And they was like, hell yeah, bro, just do it. And so we now $200 and some odd $1,000 away from $1 million. Like it ain't sat in my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gone. Like we spent the shit, but like
you're using it.
Yeah.
Like, people don't get that shit either. He spent all the money, you know what I mean? But come on, bro.
I saw
church. Right.
I saw you had the opportunity to do a conversation or an interview or a podcast, whatever. It was a conversation. Information was being shared. It was with Reza Aslan, which was huge, and King Randall, who I mentioned not too long ago.
Y'all had them on here yet?
Not yet, but very. This is like the first leg of getting into, and so, yeah. Where does
shout out to Junior
Dr. Umar Johnson, because usually he's brought up in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
How is there a relationship between the two of you?
I got his number. He came to the Solutionary Center.
Okay.
We was out there. We got gear
That's
out front.
big.
Yeah, he in Philly, so he rode
okay.
past and was like, we got all these shirts out front.
So y'all ain't tell me about this,
Right. Dr. Umar is probably one of the best orators that I've ever saw.
Really?
Like, he can translate shit very fucking well.
Complex concepts.
Yeah, like he's an MC. He commands a crowd. I would like to do more with him. I want him to teach events. We had Reza at the Solutionary Center a few weeks back. I would love for him to,
Is he in that northeastern area as well?
So his school I think might be in Delaware if I'm not mistaken, but he from North Philly, where I'm from.
Word.
So like whenever Dr. Umar wants to utilize the Solutionary Center, he 1000% can.
So,
Anybody that wants to teach and learn like at the center, we make the spot available for free.
right.
So if somebody's like, yo, I want to teach a class on
Event space. Here you go.
boom. What we do ask is if you're doing the class for free, we don't charge you. If you want to charge for tickets for an event, we ask, cool, do one event for free. And then we won't. If you don't want to do that event, hook us up with some of the money from the ticket sales. We work that number
It's
out.
only right. Yeah.
But if you're doing a class for free, we're not going to charge you. And if you want to do one for free and then one we don't charge you, do the one for free and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody that's I don't care if it's a class on podcasting. I don't care. There's billions of dollars being generated from podcasting. It's stupid of me to be like, no, don't teach nothing on podcasting. This is wild. Like I couldn't have this set up. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So Doc, I know he's a very controversial and prolific speaker.
Yeah.
I think he gets pushed back because people are like, where's the school? What are you doing? What is it? And it's like, these are also people that I be like, that's what's up. What you made? Like,
Where's before you point the finger?
what did you do? Like, and that's a motherfucker could get over on me if they tricking people and everybody's attacking them. I'm like, well, what did you do? The person doing the wild shit could get over it if the people critiquing them haven't done anything, and I'll be like, well, what did you do? What did you do? I can say what I did. I know how many people I kept out of jail, and got out of jail last year. So I think he gets some pushback there. I fuck with Doc. I think I'll say where I do disagree with him. I think that when he was, I forget, it might have been Budden's podcast.
Joe Budden podcast talking to Ish.
Yeah.
That's probably his biggest.
Because I'm open about. I've talked a lot of shit about Umar. I don't know why that moment just pissed me off so much. But
What fill me in though?
Yeah, go ahead.
When he was like, you don't like black people because you don't have like, and I'm
Snow
paraphrasing.
bunnies?
He's like, you got snow bunnies, and I'm just like, I can understand like the conversation around D1 athletes that go to prestigious schools, and it's like, yo, his environment is all white joints.
Yeah, up at the university.
Right.
Yeah,
So like, it's like, yo, you gonna say it's just don't like black people because it's ladies, less melanated. I give Doc some pushback there on certain
and
levels.
he's like not allowed to speak on blacks.
Right.
It's like, are you kidding me? You date a white woman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, all right, Doc. Now, but I do understand his logic behind it.
You call him a divester, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But I get the logic. The logic becomes, okay, if you talking this black shit, the most powerful thing that you can do for a black community is have a black family, a nuclear family unit. So from his perspective, it's like,
How you gonna refute that?
how can you refute that? Now, if you you don't get to have an opinion on the shit, I'm like, all right, Doc, like, you know what I mean? But I think that because he got there's some other contradictions because motherfuckers be like, damn, bro, but you giving Suki all the love? Is that
He lost a lot of credit with that one, man.
But Suki's got the good coochie.
right? So that changes. Right, that changes a lot. You know what I mean? I just think that we are all potential contradictions if we're not careful.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So
Because as
I like
time
the way
goes
he
on-
puts it, right? With the, being a hypocrite. Like the information wasn't presented to you at the time.
Yeah. I learned this in business, being an entrepreneur myself. When it comes to accountability and being responsible for the things you say, sometimes you got to own up to it. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want to concede and just give it all away. I will simply say I was simply operating based on the information I had available to me at that time.
yeah,
Now that new information has been presented to me,
yeah,
my opinion, my viewpoint changes.
Right.
I have new information in front of me.
yeah.
But that's what I was dealing with at that time.
Right.
You can't judge me off that.
And that's the reason why it's so easy for me to translate with people, because I go, they only have this information. I'm not tripping off of you. I'm looking at y'all gave them fucked up intel, and y'all did it by design. So y'all don't try to throw me this person. Y'all are the fucked up entities.
Right.
Now, after you have the information and you keep being a whatever you are,
Now it's
now it's you.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
So now, Maj, you're telling me that Republicans and Democrats is the same, and I sit there and I'm saying bullshit, right? Like I always say, the Republicans will be like, run. Democrats will be like, run, right? The Republicans just be like, well, if they make as much money as us, they could sit down at the table with us. It's fine. I'm not going to judge them. Democrats are like, we'll give you your own community to live in. You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
I feel like
Stay
that's the
over
main
there.
difference between them, but they're both saying, go run.
But the wild
You know what I
thing
mean?
is-
Like, we'll let you sit here, but, you're at that side of the table. Calm down. Who are we voting for then?
If you individually do not feel connected to this public servant is going to do the job of upholding the Constitution. We talking about presidential?
Yeah.
President has 3 jobs: defend the Constitution and defend individual rights, which is also the Constitution, and be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And work as a backstop to the balance as it relates to the system of checks and balances. That's what a president's job is.
In short.
In short.
yeah.
That's the 3.
Word.
So if you don't feel that person, I don't feel that RFK Jr. is going to uphold the Second Amendment, which is the Bill of Rights, which is the Constitution. Can't vote for him. Donald Trump, I think is going to be great for the money, but when he was in there, he didn't drain the swamp. Brought a lot of swamp with him. He was not good for the Second Amendment. I'm a libertarian. I think that we do not get out of this mess on a national level until the Libertarian Party, which is the 3rd largest political party in America, has the national infrastructure that the Republicans and Democrats have. So I think that you should look into libertarianism, and you should look into nullification and the 10th Amendment, and you should find or be a solid candidate on the local and state level. There's too much this coke money in the 70s and 80s as it relates to federal government. This machine is making us too much money. The military industrial complex is our bread and butter. And if you don't do it from the ground up, it's like, bro, can you imagine saying, hey, Lockheed Martin may have to go? If it's the top down, they go, what the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Get this guy out of here.
This guy's nuts.
But if you go locally and start knowing who your council people are, or being that person, or running for mayor. I ran for council in 2018.
No way.
And start going through that process and seeing and learning and homeschooling and growing some food. You got to starve the corrupt portions of the system. Now, don't get me fucked up. It's bread in America. Like, I'm not, and Wi-Fi is pretty much everywhere. Like, fucked up communities, everybody's still running around with Jordans and fucking iPhones. So, like, you know what I mean? So I'm
You
not
sold them Jordans.
right, right, and right with an 8 and some shoe cleaner, right? I just don't. I'm not gonna tell anybody that because that's why you vote. You're voting to put somebody in position that you think will do the job that you want them to do. And I'm not a person that's going to tell you to vote nationally if you don't feel like those candidates are going to do that. When people say things like, oh, you're wasting your vote if you vote for a libertarian or if you vote for independent or if you do this, they don't understand the fundamental reasoning of one person choosing to vote.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're throwing your vote. No, I'm not. That's the person that I felt.
Right.
He may not, everybody else may not feel that way, but I feel that being, I believe him. He's genuine. That's Benny the Butcher to me. That's OT the Real. I feel like he's been steeped in that, and them details is right. So I want to give him my support or her my support. If you don't feel that way, look into libertarianism. If your options right now, I know everybody's hype on RFK Jr. RFK Jr. is anti-gun. And I know somebody that helps run his campaign. Angela Stanton King. Y'all should have her on here too.
Okay.
I don't believe him. I think he's anti-gun. And the anti-gun thing it's like a no for me, dog, because it becomes, that is my way of defending all of the other shit.
Right.
And if you're advocating for me to not have my shit, then
the beginning of the end.
right.
My whole thing with RFK, and it's probably petty. I don't fuck with his voice. I'll be wondering how much fucking heroin do you have to do to fuck your voice up?
Bro, that's fucked up. But
That is fucked up.
That's how I look at it. I'll be honest.
No, because from a tactical standpoint, right, you have to speak to world leaders.
Be a man of, yes, sir.
I don't want to hear this shit. Like, what you have to remember in our time.
And if it was from like some like health shit, like some like actual shit, I'll get it. But from heroin, my nigga,
bro,
heroin,
you know what he's great at? He's great on the jab and the vaccines. He's 1,000% spot on there, and I give him those kudos. But when it comes to, he's like a health climate change person too. So his taxes, his mafia, his paying the penance will be, if you're a company, you got to reduce your carbon emissions by such and such and such and such. He's that type. So his using the state, you got to remember, real conservatives want limited government. They want as limited amounts of government as possible to get this thing that we want. They believe that the individual, by changing himself, his family, his community, his neighborhood, the world will be better that way from a ground up perspective. Democrats and so-called progressives, they believe that we'll use the government to force people to do these things and it'll be better. But that flies in the face of the foundation of what America was created for.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be limited government. So if you don't feel like these candidates are going to be doing the job, as dangerous as that may sound, I say don't vote for them and focus locally.
You know, that's something that I didn't really understand or even conceptualize until I was much older. Like a few years ago.
Yeah.
About how important it is to vote your clerk of courts, to vote your,
Right.
like you said, on the lower levels. I can't list all of them. I'm not going to act like I'm well informed on that. I'm just simply not.
But it's true.
But that's not something that was told to me as so very important.
It's like
It was only voting for the president.
Correct.
It wasn't for the local jurisdiction on a state level,
Right.
to, so on and so forth.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration in September earmarked $13 billion. $13 billion.
With a B.
With a B, to run and get elected candidates nationally on local levels that are going to have an anti-gun agenda. They took $750 million of that a few months ago, and they put it to this thing called the Extreme Risk Protection Order Agency. So if you're one of those elected, they doing the Drake shit. They setting the pieces up.
Here we go.
Right? They're going, all right, we're going to get these people hired. We're going to use $13 billion of your tax dollars to hire people that are anti-gun, get them elected in these seats. And then when they are in those local seats, because the Soros money did that, they nullify very well. We don't give a fuck about the rule if we have somebody in the office that's not going to enforce the rule. So if we hire anti-gun people, we just make shit anti-gun. So we get them in office, and when they do get in office, we have an extreme risk protection order agency that can give them funds to the tune of $750 million. They understand decentralized. They telling us to look nationally. while they understand thoroughly nullification, the 10th Amendment, and fucking decentralized approach. That's why I say if you don't feel them on a national level, if you feel like RFK is so thorough on the vaccines and how he handled it, and that's your thing, cool, go for him. I'm just telling you he's anti-gun, right?
That's where he lost you.
That's where you lost me. If you are a person advocating for climate change shit, and you're about to try to use the tax angle for the climate change shit, I know that's going to impact businesses. Those bigger corporations are going to be like, all right, I'm out, right? If you're advocating for what's his name, Biden, who's like, yo, I'm just going to do a blanket capital gains tax because all of you corporations need to give us more money. I don't think you want to do that. So if you don't want to participate in that, or if you find our libertarian candidate will be announced shortly. Bro, look into the Libertarian Party, bro. Even if you don't want to vote Libertarian, just look into what libertarianism is.
I mean, eventually it's gonna gain the momentum anyways, right? Like, if there's no votes and everybody's like, oh, well, you're wasting a vote, and there's no votes, then the party dies.
You know that Trump just, on 25th of this month, right? Trump has agreed to come to the Libertarian Party's national convention in D.C.
That's fire.
But what's the MO?
So it's
Trump's a G.
Our Angela Mcardle, who is the chairperson of the Libertarian Party, she did what's called a redress of grievances. Sent out the thing to the Biden administration and the Trump administration saying, we as the American people want to redress our grievances with you. And say, this is the fuck shit y'all been on, and what are we going to do to fix it?
I need you to look at this.
Right. And so Trump was like, all right, I'm coming.
Wow. Fire.
I mean, that's the same thing when now, is it because
Republicans will go to the table. Democrats is like, no, we'll give you a community. You guys talk.
Right. Or see us after the election, like they told Q.
Yeah.
Right. This speaks to what I've been saying for years. The general public is going, this shit ain't right. I don't know what the fuck. They may not be able to explain it perfect, but they're like, this fucking Biden guy, I'm not feeling him. This ain't what I signed up for. So
Facts.
Libertarians they're very smart. They're a little grumpy like type motherfuckers. And they like infighting a lot. But that's how the Constitution was made. The Marines, which were created in Philly and Tun Tavern, were created based off of struggle. Right? When the when the Constitution was ratified, Alexander Hamilton, Madison, and Jay argued and wrote the Federalist Papers about why certain shit needs to be in this Constitution. And they was threatening, we're not going to ratify that shit if these things are not in it. That's struggle. That's argument. That's a redress of grievances. So Angela Mcardle was like, yo, we want to do a redress. Send it to both. Trump was like, all right, cool. Now, why is this? It's because Trump's like, oh, I really want to come here. Y'all libertarians tell me how shitty I am. No. Elections are won by about 10, 11, 12% of the people. The middle fence people.
That defining.
Little, you know what I mean?
Last.
In crude terms, it's like, all right, we've been on a date with her like 4 times. This is the one. We gotta like make sure that this one's
Gotta meet the mom and seal the deal.
That deep
Right.
breath just sounded so real.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like it's all on the line here, right? We got to make sure it's her homegirl comfortable.
Yeah.
Is this that we? You know what I mean? With hotel that we picked, did we not rush to the hotel? This is these little defining moments that could have.
Oh, damn it. I pulled the condom out too quick.
Right. and now she's voting for. She's texting somebody. She's fucking texting Drake now. You know what I'm saying?
It all comes full circle.
You know what I'm saying? And so the libertarians have made enough noise that because RFK Jr. is coming too.
Yeah.
So they know our fates are intertwined, and then we're gonna spend for the last few years. I've been like, yo, it's libertarian. Dr. Boyce Watkins is now a libertarian. Like I've been going everywhere and I'm engaging with like, yo, you should look into libertarianism. Big Boy from Outkast for like 20 years has been a libertarian. Nobody knew. Right. And so like Ron Paul, who has, these guys ran as Republicans, but they're libertarians. Ron Paul has been like right about everything for 40 years. Libertarian. His son, Ron Paul, Republican, but libertarian. Right as shit. So I just challenge everybody to look into it, because libertarian just means like we want the government less involved in our shit. We don't want to hurt people, and we don't want to don't hurt people, don't take their stuff. And
protect people.
Protect people. That non-aggression principle. Like me, technically I'm a pacifist. Like I don't want no smoke. I mean, I'm gonna fuck you all the way up in the gunfight. Like if it gets to that point.
Necessary.
But generally, I'm like, yo, man, let's have a good time. Let me respect your property. Let me respect your rights. You respect mine. Let me understand what you're about.
And the one guy we didn't speak about the whole time,
Ooh.
ladies and gentlemen, J. Cole is in the building.
Oh, he actually won the so-called battle.
Word.
Because you
There it goes.
can't win a gunfight. You never win a gunfight. You survive them.
Sword fight.
So,
I'm with you. But yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like you never, like I think J. Cole was like, this shit is something else.
Protect my peace, man.
And I don't know if it's real or if it's like corporate.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're about to destroy each other's legacies, or at least attempt to. So let me get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And he risked it because, you know,
oh, he's soft. He's scared.
a lot more people now are worried about dying a social death than they are worried about dying out in the streets.
Hello. Say it again.
He was willing to go out there at his own show, knowing J. Cole was a smart man. He knew he would be crucified.
Yep.
And he said, you know what? This, for me, is more important for my spirit.
My peace.
Than it is what you all are about to say on social media.
Fuck the money.
And this is why I could create an album called Might Delete Later.
Maybe.
And then deleted
Right?
the goddamn song.
He really did.
He just knew he was like, you know what I mean? That's a feeling that when he was putting those records out, he was like, yeah, I might delete this because I don't know if it sits right with me.
He got
You know
crucified
what I mean? And he was able to do it.
and then resurrected.
Yeah.
He
Because
literally-
now everybody's sitting there like, damn, he made the right decision.
J. Cole was right.
I called it.
motherfucker was
Called
right.
it out the
His
gate.
house ain't getting shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called it out the gate. I said he made the right decision, 110%. And just like you said, he named the album. He told y'all.
Yep.
But because he came out later and said, I didn't even really, it wasn't even in my spirit. I actually fuck with Kendricks. So what am I doing dissing him on a record? Like I actually rock with dude in real life. So that's not real. So he told you straight up front, might delete later. And they got mad when he actually went and deleted
And
that
ain't
shit
that
later.
some clown shit? Like, why are we mad at a person saying, I want to avoid a conflict?
Because they want the salacious content. They want to post and repost and be the first one to post it. And there's a whole other rat race going on, a whole other social tier credit score of I heard it first and I told you first and I figured it out first. And there's a whole.
That's why America's destroying itself.
Yeah, for sure.
So to tie all of it back in,
Yeah.
do you think hip hop has a place in politics? Or is it just too far gone at this point? Because nobody wants to hear a rapper talk about politics. At least we think that.
Yeah, we do.
Or maybe nobody has done it right.
Yo, have y'all had Killer Mike on here yet?
Not yet, but
Killer Mike
That's
is
the
fire.
homie. Yeah.
when you,
Look, I'm gonna just come up with a
you
list
get
of
us
people that
connected to Killer Mike? Yeah,
I'm
he's
just gonna be
fire,
like,
yeah.
hey guys,
I told him
I
we
want
should
everybody to be on this podcast. Like, here's the list of guys, and let me, you know what I'm saying?
please,
Yeah.
please.
But Dr. Umar might not like us, so.
He might.
He don't.
I
Our
talked to him.
affiliation with Charles, that kind of.
Yeah, we're a little too light skinned for Umar.
Umar gonna be like, no, I can't do that, brothers. I can't, brothers. I cannot do
I'll tell
that,
you what,
brothers.
he agreed.
He did.
He was going to come here.
Yeah.
We tried to get him to sit down with Charleston White early
Yeah.
on. He goes on he posts me because I got mad that he didn't come here. I was pissed. Because I was like, this show would be epic.
Yeah.
Because Charleston White actually was a fan of him. And at that point, Charleston White wasn't really talking that crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this will be a phenomenal conversation. I'm thinking this shit is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
He denies me, breaks my heart. So now I'm on the podcast. I'm talking to Charleston. I'm 7 drinks in. I'm like, whoop his ass. You know what I mean? He's going to post me on his page talking about.
He did put you on the page.
He's going to put me on the page talking about, oh, this brother right here, this is why I don't go to these platforms. I was like, set up a celebrity boxing match.
Let's
you
do
know
it.
what I mean? So he probably doesn't want to come up here. But nonetheless, that was my issue probably the most is when with that and then with the Ish thing. But I would love that opportunity to be able to connect with you. I was going to say this before we wrap this show up tonight.
Sure.
I'm not fake about anything, and neither is Kato, and he's mentioned it a few times in this episode. You probably named 78 names that I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right? I learned
Yeah.
from listening to you.
Yeah.
I've learned from listening to you. This is why I followed you on social media. Don't listen. We have a group. We all sit down and we talk about. You know, we should bring this guest up here. We should bring this guest. Who the fuck is he?
Don't bring blue
Right,
face.
right.
Right. So like
bring
there's a
Blueface up
panel.
here. Yeah.
You know, and they're like, who's Maj Toure? Who is this guy? What do you want to bring him up there for? And Kato and I were both sitting there. I was like, yo, you ain't send you this.
You gotta look at
send
this.
you this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send you this, and I'm gonna send you this. And then I'm like, a couple weeks ago, I'm like, Fred, what's up with Maj? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And you tagged us in the one post.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this wasn't this set up? And he's like, he ain't responded to me. And I'm like, you didn't tell me this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? So I hit you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he said he's reaching out. You're like, nobody reached out to me. And then
And
you
then
showed
I
me the
looked.
message.
I was like, yeah.
Because I know for a fact that
Yeah.
I told Fred, make
Blow
this
up.
happen immediately. And
You
then
know
just
what?
so happens, you're like, I'll be there next week.
I think that Umar, similar to myself and other people, you walk in the room, your truth. Like I see people say what I say. I'm seeing people shift the narrative around the Kendrick conversation now, right? To answer yours and go back to the hip hop question and politics. They just don't want to go first. So I'm willing to go, nah, and then they have bigger platforms than me because I got kicked off of Instagram twice and Twitter twice and all of that, right?
We're on our way.
So
Right.
annoying.
So it's like they have a bigger platform and they'll follow me and they'll repeat the talking points. So I think that people get nervous. They don't want to go first, and they also don't want to be in the room with someone that could dismantle their arguments. So people are a little standoffish, right? A lot of platforms like the Breakfast Club, everybody in the universe was like, yo, Maj should have been on the Breakfast Club. Everybody.
I could see you up there.
Charlemagne knows my child's mother. They worked together at the radio station in Philly when he was there. But you don't want my truth to reflect your fucking lie. So I just go, okay. So similarly, I think Umar and dudes when they're in a space where they kind of be like protective because they go like, am I gonna get attacked or am I gonna get the space to really have a genuine conversation? I'm gonna text them. Be like, yo, dog, I think you should do the joint. You know what I'm saying? I love doing that in those spots because I'm like, yo, it's a cool convo. It ain't like no silly shit. Like, yo, it would be a genuine conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I do think hip hop and politics, RZA does a great job of that. Making the hip hop artists have to listen to these things that are like, they're like, I ain't not drinking and wearing a fucking suit, but you fucking are great, RZA. So let me yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
I see what you got.
Right.
Respect.
And I respect it. I'm not doing that shit, but you know, I think hip hop is politics. I think that there's a concentrated approach to make sure it's not influencing politics. I think that we want to use this thing to steer it in a financially beneficial way for our corporations, but we don't want you to use this thing for what it actually is. Hip hop is the most powerful form of expression in the world. When you start going to, I remember one time I was in a different country and seeing the fucking language barrier get broken through music. None of these people spoke this language until these songs came on. You see the power of that when you see people that are with people that universally are hated, but they don't trash the person too much because they're with a hip hop person that we like. Universally, over the last few years, no one likes Jada Pinkett Smith. but we somewhat tolerate her because of the love that we have for Will Smith. Right? Will Smith, this ain't the first time he smacked the shit out of somebody. He smacked somebody on a red carpet years ago for trying to kiss them.
Kissed him on the cheek. Said, hey, man.
And now everybody's like, well, that's Will Smith.
That was a good slap.
That was a good slap, right?
Little quick,
He's had a few good slaps.
Not gonna lie, the Chris Rock slap is the slap of the century, though.
It was
That was followed up by about the Nipsey also slap.
The Nipsey snap.
I
I gotta give it the
Marsh fam now. He fam now.
Yeah. The Will
See how
Smith
quick I caught that as soon as he said no? I got you.
and the you can't go anywhere where someone does not know the theme song to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
there you go.
So hip hop being that powerful,
Yeah.
like social media, and when they combine, it's this powerful, creation. That's the reason why they want to censor it. That's the reason why they want to go, no, you can all of the girls can only listen to Sexy Red. I want a world where Sexy Red exists, Suki exists, Lauryn Hill exists, insert whoever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a salad, right? Some croutons, some tomatoes, some fucking olives. It can't be a melting pot. If it's a melting pot, it's all the same. So there was a time when it was, how far back you want to go. You got a Public Enemy, you got a Dead Prez, you got a Nelly, you got a this, you got a that. So it becomes political, and it needs to be political. The problem is everybody's acting like we don't want people. On one hand, we say, oh, you don't do nothing for the community. You don't talk nothing of importance. Then when they say something of importance, even if I disagree with it, I'm not going to be like, shut the fuck up and dribble. Like I'm not like I might say that shit to certain people for certain things when you're clearly wrong. But if you're being informed and trying to be informed, I'm not going to be mad at you. So hip hop has to be political. And if it's not, it's only corporate, and the financial and social and political and cultural interests do not benefit the people that make the actual art. That is the danger of it. That is the danger of it not being political. That is the danger of, why they like, oh, we got to get an American company to own TikTok so we can censor it and trap it and control it. If hip hop does not talk about politics, and you seen it, Diddy, Vote or Die, right? You seen
big.
like that was a huge thing.
Big
Pause.
campaign.
Right? It becomes all of these different scenarios that and they use it as political tools. We forget, we almost put 2020 out of our minds. Remember, Juvenile had a fucking song called Vax That Thing Up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did he really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I remember that shit.
Fucking Vax That
shit,
Thing
yeah.
Up.
Girl, you look good once you vax that.
Literally.
Look it up.
Literally.
Holy shit.
Sponsored by
Genius,
the WHO.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Well,
Right?
Wow.
Look,
He's
Pete
a
this.
dead
I remember
motherfucker if you
free
vax
small
that thing.
fries. I remember free small fries and free.
You know the Run DMC cartoon too.
What?
For the you got a Run DMC rap to get the jab. No. Do y'all remember the Hustler? They was like, I'm a hustler and I'm out here involved in these street things and this, that, and the
Doesn't
third.
mean I'm too good to get jabbed.
But I gotta get the jab. I bullshit you not. They used every hip hop is political.
How many people in here got the jab?
Me.
Unfortunately,
You got it?
yeah.
I did.
Did you die?
No, I'm still here.
All right.
Still here.
Because you could die and come back. I'm from Buffalo. I've seen it happen.
God forbid, bro, because I know I went and got that shit.
You got it?
Unfortunately, I was pressured by my fam, my mother. She said, "Do it for us.
Got you.
Do it for me. I know you like to travel," and I was traveling at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it. You got to be responsible. It's the responsible thing to do, and it was literally off the pressure of my mother. Nobody else. None of my coworkers.
Yeah.
None of my peers. Nobody. None of that. And I went and sat in the fucking Walgreens and
No way.
sold
I know. I
sold
remember.
my
I remember
soul.
actually talking to you about that. I listen. I have employees, right? My one employee said she was sick. She's like, I got COVID, and I was like,
Right.
Let me get some of them antibodies.
yeah. I rubbed my hands on her back. I'm like, listen,
You playing with
Niche.
them.
Yeah.
I was like, Niche, it's all good. I don't care about COVID. We're all good. Let everybody in this motherfucker get it.
Yo.
We're gonna fucking work and make some money. You hear me? I'm not. I was like, we could all go to the store together. You could all get your little jabs and your vaccines. I'm not fucking with that shit. You'll be fine. Believe in yourself that you'll be fine. Don't panic because that's where people are dying from. And they're like, oh, well, you can't just say that. Well, listen, I got asthma. You know what I mean? Like, I got all sorts of health issues. Remember I told you, I'm just finding out health issues now. I'm like, you know what, I'll start getting my blood tests and stuff like that. You got high blood pressure, you know, like we'll find out something new every single day. But I think you take care first of yourself. If you could really like genuinely take care of yourself, you know, health wise, you know, get your ass in the gym, take care of your body. I don't think that it was necessary to jump into that, but there was a lot of people. Again, I think that obviously I'm not going to be ignorant and say that people that have passed, you know, like, oh, well, they could have stopped it if they would have did this. But I know that one thing for sure that led to a lot of this death that we saw was just the pure panic. Imagine, like, we could do this right now. Just tell people, like, if you get stung by a bee in 2024, these are super bees, they could kill you. Listen, placebo, like you're just gonna naturally,
somebody's gonna pop
you're
up.
gonna
off
think
of
you're
these things.
super sick,
Right.
and you could think yourself sick.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
plus the numbers were inflated. I mean, I have a homeboy. I was a nurse, and he's like, bro, anytime people were coming in with a cough, whether this, whether that, they were COVID, exactly.
Yeah.
You died from a heart attack? Well, did he cough? COVID related.
Car accident?
COVID
Yeah,
related. Yeah.
I just started
Slipping
going to
fall.
everywhere that they said was a hot spot.
Yeah.
We did our first Solutionary Summit in Atlanta, and they was like, yo, you gotta this, you gotta that. My whole argument was just, let's see what happens. I didn't believe the hospital shit when it was like the hospitals, or I was like, that shit, I just know that the media they be fucking lying. So I'm just like, we started going. We did tours. We bought an RV because I kept getting kicked off of planes. I was like, bro, I'm not wearing the mask. Like, this is not. And when I was going through the airport, I would put it like
Grumpy
on
old Maj.
grumpy old Maj. I'll put the one ear on and like drink water, and now magically I'm okay. And then I would get onto the plane, and they would be like, "Sir, you have to." And I'm like, "Listen." I remember this one lady. She was a what do you call it? Flight attendant. And stewardess.
Air steward.
It's one of them.
I don't know.
So I was like, listen, bro, I'm not gonna put this shit on, and you're not gonna turn this plane around. So, and she was like, all right. So I thought I won. We landed. I'm like,
No.
have a safe trip. We not land the plane, but we regular landed at the destination. Next week, I go to the airport to check in. Blocked from flying.
Please step out of the line.
Yo, they was on, and I thought it was my firearm. I was like, the fuck is this? And I thought it was something like that. I'm like, oh, the system. It's the Matrix coming to get you.
I got my number, man.
And she's like, she's on the
Random
phone,
search.
and she's like, I'm like, what's up? And she's like, 1 second, sir. 1 second. Yeah, that's okay. It's like you can't fly on our airline. I'm like, damn, y'all let me buy the ticket and all that shit. Yeah. So that happened twice, and I just was like,
No fly, just like
no
that.
fly. But they'll hit you with like, you can't fly for 30 days, you can't fly for 90 days, some shit like that first. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just buy an RV. So we went to go buy an RV. And we started traveling everywhere. And I was like, yo, let's do classes in everywhere. And it was like, Texas is a hot zone. I was like, yo, let's do a class in Texas.
Go to Texas.
Right. And when it was like, I was in Miami the day that the beaches closed, the very same day
That they closed.
Yeah.
And for that first day, they was like, all right, we got to close them. Because they was like, let's close them. And then I was there and I was like, yo, I wanted to come down here and do a Baywatch video and shit. And it was the cop. And the cop was like, aren't you Maj Toure? I was like, yeah. And he was like, yo, are y'all going to be here for a while? I was like, yeah. He leaves, he comes back, and he's like, my captain wants to meet you.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, it's the fucking Matrix, bro. This shit is
like,
set up.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What's your badge
I've
number?
been through this before.
Right off the bat, what's your badge number?
So we go there, and they give me a coin to the city.
Oh shit.
And they're like, yo, we love the work that you do. We saw you on Candace Owens, this, that, and the third. And they did that. And so we go back out, and they're like, he's like, listen, technically the beaches are closed. We know it's stupid. I can't say the office's name, but the shit was dumb. It's stupid. But while you're here, you guys can just do the beach. If you have any people that give you a problem, just give my name or give this sergeant name or give this sergeant name and shift it.
Shit.
I had the whole fucking beach and I made the fucking Baywatch video. Like, strapped and shit, getting down off.
Fire.
I was on the what do you call it, like the lifeguard shit, jumping down and shit and all of that, showing my gun on the beach.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. But saying that to say, I just went to everywhere that there was, and I just didn't get it. I tried to catch COVID.
Word.
Cause I'm like, this shit is like, if it's I need to see.
Did you catch it?
No.
I did.
Never caught COVID.
I caught it. My daughter never caught it though.
I did, and I had all my Dr. Sebi stuff ready though. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I had that CMOS handy.
Yeah.
And I felt like shit for like a day or two. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I
you
felt
had
like
cold.
shit. No doubt. Like hot, cold, and I was like, every time I got the flu, I sat there next to that toilet, and I was like, I might die.
Same shit.
Same shit that happened with COVID.
I ain't
And it's
gonna
just like, now if
It felt a little
If-
different.
My COVID was different. It felt like a
Felt a little
bitch was just
different.
kicking me in my back for like 2
Really?
days. Yeah, for like 2 days.
That wasn't COVID. No.
But-
Here goes I tested positive for COVID. It was, yeah.
But here goes what I'm saying, right? That and add the panic to it.
Yep.
Everything hurts more.
Hysteria.
There's no doubt about it because you feel like if you got the flu and you feel something in your liver, you know it's just the flu. You're like, oh, I got the shits.
Right.
But
You know what I mean? Like it just might be the shit.
Well, when
You
it's
know what I
COVID,
mean?
it's like,
when it's COVID,
this
it's
is
like
the
it's my
end.
lip. They said on Google, look at this.
This came from China.
This is it.
Yeah, if there's bubble in your piss,
There's a bubble.
I gotta get my affairs in order.
bubble in mine. Look at that bubble. That's a COVID bubble. You know what I mean? I'm stuck in the COVID bubble right there.
They definitely pulled the string.
Like for me, I'm like, I'm not about to do this shit. And I got my girl and I'm like, look, no. This shit ain't going down. We're not fucking bowing down to this shit.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I don't think that there's shit really happening. And I told her, I'm like, look, if shit goes down to the point, because she was like, oh, she kept it 100 the whole time. I'm not getting no fucking vaccine because she's, like if you seen her yet?
Yeah.
She's 4 months postpartum.
Yeah.
And she snapped right back,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
And she's been a health freak the whole time. So for her, it was like, I'm not doing a vaccine. And I was like, look, I'm not telling you to. If statistics prove that we should, oh yeah,
Are you open to it? Yeah.
we'll get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll take your ass there. And if they're saying that like everybody's dying, well, I'm not going to let you die. We're going to go get the damn
Be
vaccine.
smart
And
about
I'll
it.
grab your hand and I'll make sure I give it to you. And then I was like, but they're going to have to do one hell of a job proving to me why
Right.
I should get a motherfucking vaccine, because I'm not going to do it just because I saw a commercial.
I'm so mad.
You know what I mean? I'm going to do it because I saw
juvie.
this person around me die. This person around me died. This person. And they were just as fucking healthy as I was.
Right.
Not because somebody was 350 pounds out of shape and I saw them next to me and I knew them and they died.
That's
because
how-
I'm like, there's going to be so many other factors.
That's how my family
Got you.
I got guilt tripped into it.
Yeah.
It was a death in the family. He wasn't the healthiest, but he also wasn't in like really bad shape. But it was like from literally maybe a 7-day span, he's sick, to there's a funeral coming.
Yeah.
And the whole family's up in arms. We've known him since he was, he practically helped raise me.
How old was he?
So on and so forth. Probably had to be at least 10 years older than me. So 40
Yeah,
40
that's
and
not-
change.
yeah.
That's a scary
43?
number.
Yeah.
And then I move around a lot. I'm traveling. I'm here. I'm there. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm in a lot of circles. I come back and they're like, well, we'd love to have you for this dinner, but your grandma's here. And we don't think it's a good idea for you to come because, you make your rounds and you interact with a lot of people just to eliminate any issues. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and get this free shot. Fuck the donut. Fuck the free small fries, whatever the fuck
Let me
else.
just get it.
Y'all trying to entice, let me just do the responsible thing. There is science to back it. There are numbers to back all this, all that.
Do you feel that way now? Not the guilt part, because you were guilted, but do you feel like that was actually science?
Well, when I actually did get
No,
COVID,
like now. Do you feel like
the numbers were real?
yeah?
I don't know what to believe, but I lean on the side of no.
Yeah.
Because when I see all these young athletes with heart complications and people that are otherwise healthy just dropping out of nowhere, especially in sports,
Yeah.
and it's all cardiac, and
That
I
that
don't
part.
know.
So I was like, I'm not doing the shit. Fuck
And now,
y'all.
and now it's gone, by the way.
It's gone. And then I'm like,
Nah, COVID-74 is here somewhere.
when I seen it, and I was like, again, I'm naturally gonna go somewhere. The government is fucking lying, and I'm not. My money placed on that bet is a safer bet. My
time.
returns are better there.
Every time.
So I'm just like, I'm gonna place it there. So I just started making T-shirts. Fuck that vaccine. Telling them joints.
Yeah.
I should have followed Maj earlier, man.
And
I've
everybody
seen
was
it,
like,
yeah.
everybody was like, yo, fuck that vaccine. And I'm like, not because we were trying to say
Fuck the system.
fuck the system or fuck health. We were saying like there was too much of a convergence of
Right,
we
it felt like
need to
propaganda.
help the black community.
Yeah, nah,
You guys got to get it
that cheese.
first. And I was like, when
hell
have
no.
the fucking media and government conspired and be like, we're going to hook y'all up?
That's actually
So I
not,
just,
Let's test them
it's actually
first.
not funny.
Yeah, that,
right, that usually
that
don't
shit-
go a
nah,
good
that-
way.
PG
That
and
was
shit
all
like
right
that.
crazy
Yeah.
for me.
Right. Just
I'll tell you what, I had a neighbor, Susan. She's like, at the time, like 80, and this is like the time I was shook because it's out of sight, out of mind for me, and a lot of the people in our neighborhood were still outside. We're talking, it's
Yeah.
all good. I'm always checking up on a neighbor. Hey Susan, how you doing? Da, da, da. But I was always very mindful. Every time I was around her, 80 years old, be careful, mask on, everything. One day I'm talking to her for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes go by and I realize I'm like, damn, I gave her a hug. I don't got the mask on. I've been in the gym all day because the gyms, it took forever for them to close the gyms because everybody in Miami say, look at my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will not close this shit. You know what I mean? Like, so.
It's actually like a historic, like it happened.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, they were like, you will tape machine, this machine I work. So it was like the hospitals. The hospitals are filled, yeah, but 2 of the rooms are closed.
Right.
But so like I'm talking to her, 20 minutes go by, and I'm like, shit, no mask on. I was at the gym all day. I'm just talking to her regular, like nothing happened. I ain't gonna front. Shades were open every single day, like
like,
you know what I mean? Like she's still alive in there.
Yeah, like, let
You
me
know,
see if she cool. Yeah.
There's one time I thought she ain't make it because I ain't see her leave in like 2 days, and I'm
Like, you good?
You buy
Still in there?
COVID test. What's
yeah,
up?
no answer for like a good few minutes, and I was like, shit.
But
babe.
look,
shit, babe, we killed her.
You know what that you know what that's a testament to, though?
Sorry, Susan.
That's a testament to the fact that we now know it was a psyop. They scared the whole world.
Yeah.
If I can scare you into doing a thing, I can scare you into you are going to go into this seedy parking lot and not even on something that's tested, really. I'm going to let you put this needle in my body in a parking lot for something that we don't know all of the information to. Now, in hindsight, come to find out, the government owns it, and the billions and trillions of dollars that were generated from it, it was a successful drug deal. That is a PR move.
Yep.
And guess who has it now? Ukraine.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? Let's launder the money. It's a dope play. Now, as a PR, as a marketing tactics and strategy brain, put that hat on, I go, damn, y'all got that one off. Right?
Crazy.
Then to watch him go several times, like, we might be able to get these motherfuckers 6 more times. You might need this booster, this booster, this booster.
Goodness.
Like the play on the beautiful ugly, it's ugly
That
what
I
y'all are
wasn't going
doing,
for. Yeah.
but the beautiful precision of it. And I made a lot of, so like as they were trying to scare more people and more people died from the jab than the actual COVID, here's the other part. This is going to sound fucked up. I started selling way more motherfucking t-shirts. It was way more people going like, you know what, Maj? You were right. Right? So from a business perspective, COVID, the whole cat was good for business.
So Benny the Butcher sold COVID.
Sold COVID.
Yeah.
Did he?
What do you
No,
mean?
I'm just saying because that's how they sold that shit
Yes.
real good.
Oh,
They
yeah.
You know what I
sold
mean?
that shit. That's what I'm saying. They packaged it in a way, and there's telltale signs of when they're going to try to do it again, right? there's like little things that align. It's like little things like, okay, this worked. That whole shit, Fauci was around when they did it before in the 80s with the HIV bullshit. Fauci was around. It was Fauci with the same, this is a pandemic. HIV and AIDS is a pandemic. He was in control at that same time. Right?
That's crazy.
Then nobody fucking heard of Fauci after the fucking, remember HIV and Magic Johnson and fucking, oh my God, and right? Then Fauci disappeared. When was the last time you saw Fauci
Well,
in
I
the
was just
last
about
year?
to ask.
Yeah, he's chilling now.
In the last long while.
It's all beautiful marketing. It's now, as a salesperson, I go, as someone that knows how difficult it is to take something to market, especially if it hasn't even been tested, really, and then get a whole bunch, and the government was like, yo, y'all got it, you could get it for free, and they sold it to them.
Crazy.
It's an amazing, so no, I didn't get the shit. Long story short, I didn't get the shit.
But what a hell of an experiment.
Yeah.
My bad. I was gonna say before I forget, we talk about hip hop and politics.
Yeah.
You remember a song by Public Enemy called "By the Time I Get to Arizona"?
No.
They did this song back in the day because Arizona was the last state to make Martin Luther King a federal holiday.
Mm.
And Public Enemy actually made a song about it.
Yeah.
It was called "By the Time I Get to Arizona." And then actually the next time they voted on it in Arizona, they made Martin Luther King Day a public holiday.
Yeah.
I tried to hint this to you 14 times, but
Do.
I could hear that. Every time you tap the tape, it was like,
He was making a point.
They got to feel this.
Had happened.
that's like, cut it out, Metro Boomin.
But that's the power of the politics, right? But now imagine if we could get people with good intel and good information to put the stuff into the songs. That's the real power of it. Politics is the securing, maintenance, and expansion of your interests. So hip hop has to be political. If not, you're not interested in politics, but it's interested in you.
I like that you said that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I hope a lot of people wake up and kind of come to the forefront and get educated on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Seek out leaders like you, people who put this information out there and make it accessible. Because I sell health insurance for a living. It's what I do. I own an insurance company.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite, cheesiest lines, I say it probably 3 times a day. I say health insurance is like a language not a lot of people speak.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they don't know where to go. You hear about these programs, you know they exist, you just don't know how to find it. And that's where I come in. That's why I have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And politics is the same way. It's like a language that not a lot of people speak.
Yep.
You speak that language.
I try to.
So you can translate, like you said, and bring it to the common
Right.
mind or the uneducated or the person that didn't have the opportunity to be educated on these things through a college education or through a good high school that was aware of these kinds of things and so on and so forth.
Right.
So it's impressive. But a reoccurring theme just in our short conversation, the short time that you've been here, is all right, get ready, guys. Here comes Maj. Here I come with the doom and gloom or, whatever it is that they may proceed to not want to hear.
Yeah.
How do you handle the perception of being a narcissist, of finding the negative every time, of finding, oh, well, that's good, but wait till they tell you, because sometimes being that person and being that guy, it's a burden. It's a burden to carry.
I just neutralized the bomb by telling them I'm going to do it beforehand. Y'all know I'm fucking, here I come, about to be grumpy. Then everybody laughs at it.
Word.
It's like if you can get away with a lot of shit on social media if you put the right emoji behind it.
Word.
So if I be like, oh man, y'all know I'm about to come fuck your fun up. Oh Maj, tell me what shit. People will start asking me, how you gonna fuck this fun up for me? That means they want to be open to learning.
Word. They're asking to be so
informed.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked up is I'm so much of an asshole and I'm so much of a troll, right? Like today, and I'm saying this so we understand this clearly, right? So today I'm talking to Fred, and me and Fred are arguing about the $100,000. Can it get you to number one?
Shut up, Fred.
Right? Like if you spend $100,000 US and you are a popping artist, can it take you into the top 10 of the billboards?
No.
Right? So yeah, this is the conversation we're having. So I'm like, it'll happen. Now, I don't give a flying fuck, but my argument was it could. His argument was it can't. Had no, horse in the race. But since he said it, I'm like, I'm going all the way in. Nova's the only one that understood it. So I messaged Nova personally And I'm like, I'm gonna go all the way until he's fucking super pissed. But like now, like I'm such a troll where I'm like, I'll put $500 on this shit to see if he'll take the bait. He took the bait. I was like, fuck. But we keep going. We argue about this shit for like 2 hours. We're messaging random ass people about it. And it's a time of my life. I love, like, for me, that's the one thing
Right.
I try to tell everybody in advance. Like, just so you know, I don't give a fuck
About any of
Drake
this.
or Kendrick. But now, because you give a fuck so much, I'm Team Drake all the way.
Right.
I got a whole year of talking shit about Drake on the podcast.
Yeah.
Seriously, a whole year that we've archived these videos now. I'm like, it's too much shit talk. I don't want Drake to fuck my girl. Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, leave me alone, Drizzy.
Right.
BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
is that I want to believe that's true, but I don't know. Do y'all think he got the BB, like the
The abs? He definitely got the
I
abs.
think he got the abs.
Joe Budden talked about the abs in 2016.
I mean, you can see
Yeah.
from the picture, he got like Tootsie abs. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a real.
What is a Tootsie ab?
How the strippers look, how they skin be. His abs look crazy.
But listen, Drake was never
shit.
like out of shape.
Like he's never
Yeah, but
in
he
shape.
wasn't in shape.
Yeah.
Just go to the
Well,
gym.
for
BBL Drizzy.
I don't.
BBL
The truth is, I
Drizzy.
don't care.
Yeah, so
He's
right,
not the
that's what I'm
first.
saying.
He's not the only.
Right.
Bandman Kevo publicly, talks about the whole. Well, actually, no, he denies that too, doesn't he?
Did he like?
No.
Or he admits-
No, I
he
don't. I
admits
think
to
he
it?
admitted it. Yeah, I think he's the one that. I think he's the person that said he did all sorts. of
Whether these guys admit it or not, we all know it's fucking happening. It's show business. It's you're
Be
getting
perfect.
extensions, you're getting this, you're getting that, you're tanning this, you're coloring that, extending whatever the fuck kind of body modifications you want to get into. It's happening. It's just the fact that they're exploiting it and making a thing out
It's
of
funny.
it. And
And it's Rick Ross. Rick Ross is good at it.
It also
He's
ties
very good at it.
It also ties into like the light skin thing. Like, that's such a light skin thing to do. You get
Yeah.
your fucking abs etched. Look at you.
Light
Pretty boy,
light skin bullshit. I was thinking it earlier. I'm like, who's my top 5 rappers? Because everybody's like, oh, he's light skinned. He's defending Drake. And I'm like, so I started screen recording. I screen recorded all these old episodes of me talking shit about Drake. And I was like, I don't even know if these are safe to post. Because I was talking way too much shit about him. I'm like, damn, I was really that angry with him for going at Kanye. But I'm thinking about my top 5. My top 5 is Ransom. Right now, like, it's music that I enjoy listening to.
Wait, rappers?
Yeah. My top 5 rappers that I'm listening to.
gotta define that
Lyrical, all
list.
that shit. Everything.
Best?
I'm lyrical and the music that I want to listen to.
Okay.
Ransom.
So personal favorites.
Yep. I'm not gonna say that the order that it's in because I don't know the fucking order. Ransom, Conway the Machine, 38 Special, Benny the Butcher, J. Cole, and that's my top 5. And I gotta put a rapper I gotta put 2 in there as like honorary mentions. Again, I don't know what the top 5 would be. Tory Lanez would be one of them.
Okay.
And then RJ Payne. Like I like, like those
the real.
yeah, just like
Motherfuckers you believe.
like when you hear that record, it just sounds mean. And like
It make you gotta make a face.
The state.
Yeah.
just spit hot bars for real. When you
Yeah.
sleep, it'll look like you laid on the Foreman grill.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is tour and chill. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather listen to some shit where I'm like, oh, this is mean, and then like I'm arguing with all these Kendrick fans
Yeah.
for saying one thing that I think Drake is unkillable. That's how it started. And they're like, oh, you gotta be da, da, da. And then they started like moaning. You know what I mean? Aw. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't like, come on, bro, leave me alone. I don't want to argue with y'all. And then it's like 1 DM, 2 DMs. What gym you at right now? We can see what's up.
Yeah.
I was like, what gym am I at?
You know what's
I
funny?
said, I don't think you want to pop up to this gym. I promise you.
Wild.
You know what's funny though, Maj? Just I don't know if anybody knows this, but he'll be on there live because he'll go live from the page, the Danza Project page.
Yeah.
I'm in the comments egging them on, egging
Yeah.
him on. I'm like, can you believe this guy? And they're like, I know, right?
Yeah.
Me and
This
him are
guy's
like,
the worst. Bro, that's another part of the reason why I was team like
man.
I know that people won't leave it right there. Like when you're in an argument and when you say to people and they argue like, yo, bro, can we get to just leave this energy right here? We get to just not do this.
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of people have that. So because of that, they've made this. They've said like, this is my identity.
Yeah.
The hill I'm willing to die on.
And so I'll be like, yo, like, you know, like I'm very public on social media. I'll be like, yo, my exact location is I'm in Havana, 1947. Da, 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 da. I'm having some fucking chicken and rice. And yo, if you happen to be up, pull up. Let's have some
Let's get
libations.
some chicken and rice together.
Right. And then I don't want you to show up mad that I said that RFK Jr. is anti-gun. And I don't fuck with him. Because you've put your whole identity into, it's all the Planck Scales, all the same. No, it's fucking Drake or nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's and it's like in reality, I'm like, similarly, my brain goes, do you know what $95 billion looks like and where it just went and how it's going to impact your children's children?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we want to argue about some shit, I mean, outside of just, I know that this is just us passionately having a discussion about music. But if you're like, I want to pull up to the gym, like, okay, I box, I train Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I hit the gym.
Yeah.
I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm gonna shoot you.
Come on.
That's what I was sitting there thinking.
Come
Like,
on.
this dude is crazy. He's like, "What gym you at?" I said, "Amp Fitness Plantation."
Here, this is
You
what
know
it
what I
looks
mean?
like.
Come be the first person to experience the fireworks show they got here.
Yo,
You know what I mean? Like, what the
Said it,
fuck
you
is
like-
wrong with you?
You said this is crazy. Somebody wants to die over Kendrick. Kendrick
like,
don't
what
know
the
you,
fuck?
bro.
Kendrick
You
doesn't
don't
know you, and I don't want you to be on that T-shirt for nothing.
Come on, bro.
Like, oh, you so, and then they'll hit you with the, oh, so you wouldn't fight? No,
Yeah, I don't got
this
no
is
goddamn-
not
my back hurts.
like,
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no
world.
time to do it.
Yeah.
That'd be the first time they fucking make the same goddamn sound Kendrick makes. You know what I mean? Like,
wild, bro.
fuck out of here. What kind of weird shit is going on? I'm sitting there like, this is ridiculous.
But so this is why this is political brand discipline. This is why conflict resolution
Come on.
and de-escalation,
Tight. Come on.
yoga. These are the things that we go over at the Solutionary Center and abroad. If you've gotten some value from,
Turn his mic up. Why? He's got the dramatic shit going.
like the dramatic shit.
Yeah.
Cleaning it
Listen,
up.
guys, this is the reason why it's important and imperative in our communities to make sure that we are focusing on things that matter. Here at the Danza Project,
Come on.
we are consistently the voice of reason, logic, empathy, love for our communities. Now, if you've gotten some sort of value from tonight's podcast, support the work. Make sure you are liking, sharing, reposting, clipping, tagging, as well as support the Solutionary Center. All of our classes abroad are free to all because of your voluntary donations, and this is what our communities need. You can support the work at givesendgo.com/solutionary and be safe. Be solutionary. Nah, that shit was hard.
Not a final question.
That's a
before I
plug.
let you go.
That's a plug.
You've
Yeah.
done a lot.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that there's so much more.
Yeah.
Anybody that has that entrepreneurial state of mind, it's like it never ends. You know, it's like you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get this done, and I reach this goal, and we get 25,000, and it's like they want 100.
Yeah.
We could get to 100. It's a tough goal, but we got to 25. We could probably get to 100, and you get to 100, like $1 million. It's
Yeah.
like $1 million takes so much longer. You know what I mean? Like 25, 100, but you know what?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Right.
let's do it. Life is grand. Out of a 1 through 100, because I can't say 1 to 10. It's not large enough. Like, no matter which way you try to be, it's the same thing. You could say it's a 5 and it's a 50, you know what I mean? But nah, like life, we got this long ass motherfucking life. Out of a 1 through 100, where do you feel like you are at in your path?
Even 100 is so finite. in the bigger scheme, like long enough timeline, everybody should go down to like 0 long enough. Man, it's so many like, and people say there's no regrets. There's so many regrets, man. There's so many like, damn, I wish I would have did that earlier. I would have, if I'd have known that. So it feels like if it's a football field, I feel like we on like 30, 40 yard line. Like I don't have 10 million in cash, which is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 in Bitcoin, maybe, right? But when you start learning that most like serious entrepreneurs that start getting to a heavier bag,
Oh, it just keeps going.
it's like 40, 50 years old. So I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say like the 40-yard line. I think when I get to $10 million in cash, liquid, I think that could be a good 45, 50-yard line. Because then you could really, like, I'm around people that, like, Mike Rashid is my homie. His company's done 100 million in sales.
Okay.
Crazy.
Shout out to Mike Rashid.
You did 100 million in
Yeah,
sales.
yeah. I always like to say that twice because when you count that out
When
in
you-
your head and you do the zeros,
Right. It's like Maj raised and gave away 750,000 and we gonna get to 1 million. And it's like, well, yeah, we had 100 million in sales.
100 million.
You see what I'm saying? So like, Andy Frisella's another one. They do about 100 million a year.
Huge.
And I know that they have, like, I went to his facility in St. Louis, First Form. It's the best fucking facility I've ever seen. They have the best.
What is it like? Just like, what is it? Like a fitness?
First Form is a health and fitness supplement
It's like
company.
PHORN.
Yeah. Yep.
I know.
They're
It's
blowing
this
up.
hat, actually.
They're blowing up.
Like, they have the best corporate culture, because that's what it's called, that I've ever fucking saw. Everybody in there work. There's a room in there that there's all of these fucking books. Let's say if it's 20 titles, but it's this whole fucking section is that one title. You get to just go in there and take the books. So, like, I was like, when they DJ was like, yeah, come in, let me show you around. Da, da, da. It's an 800,000 square foot facility.
Beautiful.
It's like an IKEA.
Yeah. That's what?
For health and fitness.
And
So much opportunity.
there's race cars in the facility. There's call centers and there's customer service and all of that. There's their gym, because their obligation is you have to work out. So it's like a bunch of ripped, motivated drip people that work there.
Call on line 1.
Right. And they're there.
I mean, yeah.
And so he's like, he wrote 75 Hard.
Yes.
And so
Which is legendary.
it's a legendary
It's
book.
legendary.
And these are people that I can text. And it's like, their company does $100 million a year. So going back to the question of, I don't have 10 million in cash. And that's talking about numbers as it relates to money is the low end of the spectrum of how I think. Let's talk about the impact that they've made on people's lives. Mike Rashid is a friend of mine that I watched his workout videos for years. And CT Fletcher.
Legend.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fletcher too.
that gym, the Iron Addicts gym where Mike Rashid trained and CT owns, is a gym that I was fortunate enough to work out in and meet CT Fletcher. And he's like, I'm proud of you.
Holy shit.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's dope.
So, like, it's definitely not past the 50-yard line with all of that shit, and you just getting started, and there's so much more to,
So 30 to 40.
30
Yeah, I
to
know,
40.
Mike Rashid follows us. We follow him. I knew the name for quite a while.
Y'all should have him on here. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
hell
saying.
yeah.
Yo, you should fucking have Mike on here. Mike, be on the show, Mike.
You heard it.
it's like it's got to be like a 35-yard line.
So
'Cause-
for you, when you're talking about the money side of it, right? Like, and the completion, like all the I mean, 800,000 square, 80,000 square feet.
800.
800,000 square feet. You said it like that.
There's a football
Wait,
field
time
in
out.
the
What the
motherfucker.
fuck? Like I said it and it sounded wrong. What the fuck? Okay, so now
He has a flag in there. This is their story. Their first, like a general nutrition type center type thing. That's what when he started at 1920, right? Years old, him and his brother. The flag that they have on the wall in the gym is literally the same size of the first store that they opened. The flag on the wall, the American
great
flag
story.
on the wall, is the size of the store that they first opened and slept and lived in the beginning.
holy shit.
Yeah, no, the entire ethos of their company is crazy. That's why they're
wild.
doing so well right now. And
So what does it look like then?
It's blue. It's
No,
black.
no. What does it look like? So you're on the 40-yard line. What does the end zone look like for you?
I need the National Firearms Act repealed. I need the Gun Control Act repealed. For my personal wealth, my money, I need $10 million in cash. And I need a happy, fulfilling marriage, family. I need health. And I need more Americans to get back to what America is supposed to be founded on. That shit is some end zone shit. That shit of we are now operating off the Constitution. We are now like legitimately limiting government, using it when needed, and public servants are there to serve the public. That's what the 100-yard line looks like for me. And I think it's doable. I think that like when people overplay their hands so bad that everybody's like, okay, I can't.
this is enough.
This is enough.
This has gone too far.
Right? These are the open stages for us to be like, okay, we got some room here. We can inform people. That's what the 100, like, I don't need 100. Like when you, like I've traveled the country like 20 times already. I've traveled internationally a few times. Like not as much as domestically, but like after a while, like 10 million in cash, like unless I started trying to like buy skyscrapers, like 10 million in cash, you
can
pretty
go
cool.
just about
like you
anywhere.
pretty cool. Like I'm not
In cash,
interested
that's a
in.
good amount.
Yeah, I'm not interested in having a yacht. It's not my thing. My homies got yachts. I don't want to be the dude that owns the yacht.
10 million in
Word.
cash is a lot. I know a lot of people that got a lot of money and they don't got 10 million in
In
cash.
cash. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't got $1 million in cash.
So it's like, you know, I'm not interested in like, it's really like almost like low key like a rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Cause like even at
Well,
like
yeah.
I've made and I've given away 750,000. So like
10 million in cash insinuates that's just what you're
Right.
That's what
That's
you
just
have
liquid.
in cash.
Definitely
Okay?
picture Maj saying, "Nah, I got an underground tunnel. We're going there."
Right.
You know what I mean? They want to bring the fight. We, you know what I mean? We'll bring the fight to them. You know what I mean? It's like, all right.
this is a part of
Like if it's all ending right now, I'm definitely
Fuck it.
calling them up. You know what I
right.
mean?
Like,
yeah.
fuck it. Oh, the bunker's right here, bro. What you need? Right? Like, I think that those are the things that like drive me for that 100. It's not like 10 million in cash is cool if you have if I live within my means. So like that's cool, but like it's more for like other people having, you know, that those resources bring happiness to other people. Like giving somebody a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they like, I was fucked up. And all right, cool. That first 2 weeks and they get that check. And like, whoo, it gets some pressure off.
Yeah.
You know, I think that that's what my 100, you know, I think the 50-yard line is, you know, I'm fighting a gun case right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So like,
What state? Or
Philly.
never mind. I was gonna say never mind. but-
Sheesh.
yeah, like that shit is, that's a part of the, you know, you win a fight, expect contact.
Word.
So like those are things that's like, all right, we win that first and fourth.
Yeah. Reset. Let's go.
Reset. Let's get it. You know what I mean? But like
another new 10-yard.
Yeah. Like, but like the real wins of getting people to see bigger pictures and start operating from their genuine, like, authentic selves and autonomy, and like I get to exist, bro. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that looks like 100-yard line win for me.
Fulfillment.
Yeah. It's not me.
dope.
It's others. I'm a point guard.
Great answer, by the way.
Hell yeah.
We asked that question.
You knew he'd.
Yeah.
You knew he'd draw it.
Yeah. That's why we were
That's why I
waiting.
kind of like rephrased it a little bit of stuff. Like I'm like, okay, let me ask this one the right
We'd
way.
like to ask that question because everybody is in a different stage in life.
Yeah.
And everybody's, you ask it initially. This is one of his questions that he came up with. And some people say, oh, I'm at 20. And it's like, well, why? Why do you think you're at 20? 'Cause in our head, you're at 80. But tell me why you're at 20.
Yeah.
Or I'm at 80. Really?
You think that?
Tell me why you're at 80. And then the follow-up is the 100.
And some people have told us they're at 100. And the way they explain it is crazy.
You're
dope.
like, that's
and you're
hey,
like, holy
then
shit, maybe they are at 100. You
that's
know what I mean?
it is for
Because
you.
I
For
did-
them.
Because
For that-
I did more than I ever thought I would, and I was able to take my mom out the
I'm
hood
not supposed
and
to
give
be
her the life that she
here.
never thought she would get. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
That is some. I don't know who said it, and I'm not saying it.
I
to
know.
be rude to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Right. However,
Here go man.
Here comes.
it's mine. All right, whoever said that shit, I'm already at 100, right? That is some white girl with fucking Uggs, basic Starbucks bitch ass shit. I just took my mom out the hood. Welcome to fucking adulthood. Like, come on.
Normal.
This is 100 because I'm alive today. Okay. Like everybody else that's alive today. I'm gonna ask whoever you are. It's not a diss. It's not a diss. I don't know who said it. I'm not attacking you. I'm just asking you and challenging you a little bit, and you don't have to honor this.
It was Snoop Dogg.
It was Snoop.
No, I'm just.
You've done everything.
Hey, if anybody's at 100,
Snoop has done everything.
Look at me so like.
I'm like, oh shit. I just fucking I was just listening to Doggy Style 2 weeks ago. Nah, like
I ain't taking his 100 away.
Yeah,
I give him
Snoop.
that.
Snoop is Arnold Schwarzenegger now.
Bro, he's got pistachio commercials and
Everything.
lighter commercials and
At this point, Snoop is on a 40-year
he's in
run.
China. He's in.
But go ahead, let
might
us
be
know.
the
Let us know
most
what you got to
famous
say to the
rapper.
person
Yeah.
that got the 100.
If you got the 100, man, if you had 100, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit to just widen your gaze a bit. If you got to the 100 and you don't feel tired and almost insane, I promise you got more to go.
Find a new 100.
Find a new 100, and you'll see that you actually was like at 40. If this just getting your mom out, like, man, I know like 17 homies that retired their mom.
Fire.
Like,
Fire.
you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and it's not a diss. Whoever 100 is just a friendly, as your brother, it's just a friendly challenge to, because I don't want to be pushing a divide.
Well, listen, I think this is something that there's got to be like a part 2, a part 3, a part 13
Yay.
for. And I really appreciate you coming through.
Thank
It's
you.
been a great conversation, and I look forward to many more. For me, 100 is, this. Shout out to Maj. How do I say it correctly? Maj Toure?
Toure, yeah.
Maj Toure in the building.
Hey, listen, anybody listen, guys, we do this work based on voluntary donations. Anybody that got some value from this event tonight, support. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you're going through something, like if you legit going through some shit, man, shoot me an email. MajToure@gmail.com, MajToure@solutionaryuniversity.org. I would rather read what you got going on than read your motherfucking obituary. You don't know me, but I have love for and care for you as a human. So let's be kind to each other.
Wow.
Let's get it.
Beautiful. Social?
Oh yeah, Big Daddy Toure.
All right.
Yeah, some of the guys gonna struggle with that.
Yeah. I did.
Well, we got alternatives.
Yeah. BIGDADDYTOURE on Instagram. My backup page is Maj Toure 999 on Instagram. Maj Toure 999 on Twitter. And yeah, just the website solutionaryuniversity.org.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/Maj Toure, rumble.com/Maj Toure.
Nice.
Let's get it. Shout out to you. Appreciate you greatly.
Thank you.
Yay.
Let's go. BBL Drizzy. Hey! Yeah, number one, ladies and gentlemen. Bro,